switch this over to live and we'll see how things go.
Did you do rolling for new levels hit points?
I set it to take the average, I believe.
Okay.
But if you'd like to roll a d10, because if you roll better than the average, then you can take the better. So if you'd like to roll a d10.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely not better than average.
That is definitely not better than average. I mean, it is par for the course, but it's not better than average.
Oh my god, it's a continuation of my last game.
Yep, I'll agree with
Feel
you
like
on that
it's
one.
not a good thing. Yeah,
Well,
this is not a good thing.
let's get these shit rolls out of the way first.
Oh my god, shit rolls is part of the reason why the D&D game I played took so long.
Gotcha.
Like, it took us forever to hit skeletons, which are AC 13. Yep.
Oy.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, it was just... And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to use spells that are saving throws, but my save DC is only 13. And even then, the skeletons were like making that more often than not. It's like, oh, this is just so bad. Alrighty.
Well, let's hope your bad rolling keeps up.
Yeah, it never seems to impact too much when I'm running a game.
No, it's like your virtual dice switch over into murder mode.
My dice just dislike players. Whether I'm playing or whether I'm running, that seems to be the way they go.
In general, you have to sprinkle them with salt or something.
All right.
I keep obsidian in my dice bag. Hello.
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 The link should be pinned, but I will resend it.
The old link was, but where I'm here, I need the new one.
There you go. Alrighty, so as a kind of a quick update, or recap, I guess, you guys had traveled to the Mithril mines, found that the upper levels had been taken over by troglodytes, but found that the lower level there was an imprisoned fire elemental of some sort that made a deal with you that if you helped to release it from its oath of servitude to the dwarves, it would continue to say of its own free will for a year and a day. And after that, it would be willing to negotiate. Somebody had brought up the concept of payment, which was a completely foreign concept to this entity, but it quite liked the idea. And so after the year is done, it is more than willing to negotiate, but it did power up the forges for you, so the forges are capable of generating temperature sufficient to smelt both mithril and adamantine. You know that when you get back to Estoria, if you let Volkan know, he will basically set up shop and create things for you, for himself as well. You recovered some dwarf skulls that you're going to bring back to the dwarves in Estoria so they can be properly put to rest. One of the big things that you found at the mines, though, was a secret cavern with a dock that leads pretty much directly into the forge itself. The sort of thing where when you have a boat, you'll be able to easily get back there. Other than that, it was not terribly difficult. You did encounter the Cerberus Hound that was the offspring of the one that Lutheria had originally unleashed into the mines, who had consumed its siblings, some of them, and grown stronger as a result. But with some help from the Forge Keeper, you did manage to defeat it. But not without taking some pretty significant damage along the way. It was probably one of the tougher fights you've had. Not helped at all by people's dice rolls.
Not even a little bit.
Nope.
But after that, it is a simple matter of making your way back to Estoria. You know that you have roughly a week until the next full moon, which is when Sophia's half-sister, the Princess Enora, is scheduled to be sacrificed to Sidon. So that's pretty much where we are.
Had we just finished a long rest?
Yes, after you defeated the Cerberus Hound and talked to the Forge Keeper and everything, everybody's like, okay, we need to take a little bit of a breather now.
Wanted to make sure.
Excellent. I assume I spent it practicing mocking things.
Probably selling some groaners of jokes, judging the reaction, practicing mimicking
Yes.
people's voices.
Yeah, considering the spell I just picked up and the feat I just picked up, yeah.
Sophia's been practicing doing what she can with the rations and stuff that you have, and making them really quite palatable.
Yummy.
Yes. I picked up a feat.
Excellent. I also picked up
Um,
a feat, but mine's a little bit more annoying.
Chris, did you update my character sheet
I believe so.
with the wisdom? Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
I picked up
Yep.
the actor feat, which just allows me to mimic things and gives me even more charisma.
I need to get some cooking utensils. That way I can give you guys something tasty to eat to act as a healing during short rests.
Oh, yummy.
So yes, making the rations quite palatable. Healing even. Chris, restorative sounds like a good plan.
Alrighty, so you guys spend some time in the forge, kind of getting used to how they work. The Forge Keeper also presented Arathius with a set of studded leather armor that was meant for him. It will help him in his quest to defeat the dragon that is responsible for much of the tragedy in his life.
Dragon.
So it's a very very lovely set of studded leather armor with kind of like a reddish, like it's not red armor, but when the light hits it the right way, there's like a reddish tint to it. And you find while wearing the armor that the temperature in the forge drops from like really quite warm to really quite comfortable.
It's not bad in here.
But yes, after completing your rest, you guys know that you're about 2 days from Estoria. So you get up, pack up your things. The Forge Keeper will show you a path that leads from the hidden dock down to the riverbank, so you don't have to go like up the elevator and through the upper level of the mines. It's a much more direct route. But would very much appreciate you not letting others know about it.
Yeah, no, that's just between us.
I don't imagine we want that many others here, so.
You guys set off on your way back towards Estoria. The weather is quite a pleasant day. There's like a little bit of a breeze kind of rustling the grasses. Lovely day for travel. This sort of day where you feel good about it. You feel like, this is going to be a day with no excitement. Nothing nothing untoward could possibly happen on such a glorious day.
There's a
That's
reason
not
I'll never
wrong.
say those words.
That's never a good feeling. That feeling is
Yeah.
always false.
And you make your way just kind of following the riverbanks. Every once in a while, you do see some centaurs here and there, but they're not part of the band that is laying siege to Estoria. You see a couple of the ones that you recognize that you met on your way to the mines. That kind of give you like a nod of respect as they were like on one side of the riverbank and you guys are traveling on the other.
I'll give them a hail and well met.
And you see like some of the adult centaurs that were with the band that you met are like pointing out to their children and indicating that not all humans or elves or others are necessarily dangerous or not evil per se, but they kind of insinuate that there are some good people in the world. So
I wouldn't say that we're not dangerous. We're just not dangerous to them.
We're not solely self-interested.
yeah, that's a very good way to put it. So yeah, you can tell that the fact that you helped them and helped rescue members of their tribe is starting to make the rounds amongst some of the more independent centaurs.
Cool.
Sweet.
And as you're, starting to get into the evening, and you're starting to look around for a suitable place to camp. On the road ahead of you, you see this very large shape, quadruped, kind of hunched over in the middle of the road that you're traveling. And as you look, those of you with dark vision, you can see it looks like it's got the body of like a large cat and the head of an eagle. And at its paws is this horse and rider. And it's like, as you're watching, it kind of like rips part of the flesh out of the horse and kind of like swallows it down. It does. You don't know whether it hasn't noticed you or whether it just doesn't pay any attention to you. It seems to be very engrossed in its meal.
Is the human still alive?
From back here, you can't tell. They're not moving.
Either way, I think we have to at least try just in case.
Yeah, I was gonna say we are gonna stop that, right?
Yeah. Just wanted to know what we're walking into.
Is it within my crossbow range?
It is definitely within crossbow range.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to try to fire a shot at it.
Okay.
If everyone's ready.
Yes, I am
Yeah.
ready.
Because if it's a crossbow range, it's an Eldritch Blast range.
Yeah. So before to try to get a surprise shot off, I guess.
Okay. All right, so as this thing is like kind of chopping down and like it's just like ripping chunks out of this
Very-
out of this dead horse with its beak,
I gave it a toothpick.
and it kind of like tilts its head back and kind of swallows some of the horse flesh. Sophia just lines up a shot and ding, crossbow sinks into its kind of meaty flesh.
Oh, I would have thought that would miss.
Well,
Yeah.
you probably pissed it off.
Yeah, probably. That doesn't surprise me. I tend to do that with creatures like that.
So yes, fairly quickly to the session.
Wow.
Let's roll some initiative.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, at least someone's going at Griffin speed.
Well,
Helena has the initiative
Already
result
started.
to run away.
So yeah,
nobody said I was running away.
everybody is kind of taken aback ever so slightly as you guys are like, huh,
Oh my god, Sophia hit it.
yeah.
It's kind of Sophia's response too. Like,
Yeah.
I hit it from here?
And Helen's just like, I had no doubts.
I was sure I
Oh.
missed
And it lets out this horrible like screeching roar, and kind of like turns. It doesn't seem to be terribly graceful on the ground. But Helena, you're up.
I yell at it, you need to make a decision. Are you a bird or a lion? And then I vicious mockery.
Vicious mockery, you say?
Yes. Okay, are we not gonna do the thing for me? Why are we not? There we just do the thing. Do the thing. There we go.
Alrighty. It got a 20 on its saving throw.
It clearly made up its mind what it is.
Yeah, I think
Clearly.
so.
I can try.
It is very, very comfortable in its decisions.
Yes, it rears up, thumps its chest, and goes, "I am hybrid."
Honestly, my vicious mockery does about as well as my weapons, and it usually hits more often. So
Fair enough. I'll set spear and shield to take the charge when it comes.
Right.
Woo! Damn, we're all selected.
So yeah, it does charge in, but like I said, it doesn't seem like it's it doesn't seem like it's a very fast creature on the ground. Certainly no faster than a human.
Well, that's good.
That's a relief. Because, man, the rest of us are slower than hell.
That will bring us to Sophia. It does not quite get to you. It kind of like, as it's coming in, Deacon kind of steps in front of it with his spear and shield ready, kind of keeping it at bay from the rest of you.
Okay. With what I know, would this be, pardon me, an aberration? Or anything that would
It's
fall under protection?
magical
from
beast.
evil?
It is considered to be a monstrosity.
Ooh, monstrosity.
Yeah, that's definitely not something that I'm all that familiar with.
Oh, poor thing, you're hurting its feelings.
I'm sure it's gonna be fine, sadly. But since it generally does fairly well, I'm going to try Guiding Bolt,
Okay.
because usually Guiding Bolt is fairly reliable.
Someone want to try to ride it and pretend they're Harry Potter?
No.
No, that's not Buckbeak.
don't tempt me. I'll do it anyway.
Don't tempt me with a good time, she says.
God. Yeah, dice do not like me today.
Well, it's slow.
Don't tempt me with a good time is like my go-to line.
Right. So yeah, you kind of gather the divine energy and unleash it, and the creature is large and fairly cumbersome on the ground. So the guiding bolt does strike it, and the light kind of flows around it, and everybody kind of gets this instinctual sign as to where the weak points in it are.
Oh, okay.
Which will bring us to Arathius, unless Sophia wants to move.
Do I have a bonus action?
Yes.
Ooh, I want to use something else that's new then. I would like to use, maybe I didn't get it. No, never mind. Go ahead. Don't mind me. I need to bring up all of my spell info.
All right. Arathius is up.
I'll let it take its chances with my new cantrip. Not that there'll be much psychic damage. It's more the other factor. Haha.
Alrighty, so D4 from the next saving throw it makes before the end of your next turn. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and 1 point of psychic damage. Woo.
So yeah, so Arathius kind of reaches out, and this like black shroud kind of falls around the griffin's head momentarily, and it kind of looks around, confused, slightly off kilter.
And I'll move a little bit.
That will bring us to Agri.
I think you skipped over Deacon.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Sorry. Yes, Deacon.
The valiant one who's placed himself in front of the griffin.
I do
You got
appreciate
this.
Okay, so we're able to see all the lovely knotty parts where we should be able to strike it and hurt it.
Yes, because it's the next attack, and Arathius's was not an attack; it was a saving throw.
Cool. How does that influence the hitting?
The next attack on it has advantage.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Actually, in an effort to try to make this quicker, I'm going to use my ability to strike twice.
Okay. Right, so yeah, so lightning quick, you like lash it with the spear and you catch it like right in like one of its shoulder joints, and then yeah, as you pull the spear out, you jab it up into the abdomen. It looks like it took some pretty significant damage from that barrage.
I believe with Piercer, I also can reroll damage on the second one.
Yes, you can reroll damage once a turn.
Okay, now which little symbol do I use for that?
Just do /R space 1d6.
Quite a bit better, I think.
Oh, there you go. So it'd be plus 6 damage, so another 11.
Woot.
Alrighty. All right, that'll bring us to Agri.
Well, I'll close the distance and attempt to swing.
Okay. So yeah, you close, and again, this creature is very large, very cumbersome. It doesn't have a lot of like armor plating or anything on it, so you do manage to kind of strike it where the wing kind of meets up with the body. It like kind of like lashes back at you with its beak in pain. That will bring us to Helena, because I believe your dexterity is higher than the Griffin's.
It is. And I'm gonna try a new spell because I can. I have to read it first though. So I can't remember if I can cast it on this or if it's gonna make sense. Where's the description? There we go.
So if it's a,
Does it have an intelligence score of 4 or more?
you don't know, but it does seem to be very animalistic.
Okay, I'm not gonna bother then. I will cast True Strike instead.
Okay.
I don't think it actually does anything to the creature. It just gives me an insight to the target's defenses and allows me to gain advantage on my next attack.
Correct.
So
All right.
I am simply doing that.
Okay. The Griffin's turn. Okay. It is actually. It starts to beat its wings and it starts to take off into the air. Agri and Deacon can get attacks of opportunity at it if you guys wish.
Yep, sounds good.
Sure. Why not?
So yeah, so the wings beat, and you can tell, like, even though it seems to be fairly clumsy on the ground, there's a lot of muscle in those wing beats. I mean, this is a lot of animal to lift off the ground. And as it's doing so, it's not terribly graceful. And you guys like take a swing at it, take a poke at it. You do draw blood, but it's not enough to stop it from pulling up into the air. And it looks like it's in the process of leaving. Like, you know, it killed a horse. It was eating. I thought it saw like some more food, but the food put up a bit of a fight. And especially to Agri, who's used to like natural animals, it's acting exactly the way you would expect an animal to act. Basically, this meal is not worth the pain.
Makes sense.
And that will bring us to Sophia.
I'm going to try to get it again with my crossbow.
Okay.
Hopefully a bit better this time. Oh, my God. Or not. But I would like to cast Spiritual Weapon on my bonus.
Okay. What's the range on spiritual weapon?
Just go back to it.
Because
60 feet.
All right, so it is out of range of spiritual weapon. Like, you can cast your spiritual weapon and then next round start moving it, but it's a pretty fast flyer.
Oh, so it's already over 60 feet away.
Yeah, it's about 80 feet in the air.
Oh. Well, I'll cast it anyway.
Okay.
And it will look like Pythor's hammer.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so this shimmering hammer, it looks like a translucent duplicate of the one that Sophia's got slung at her hip, materializes about 20 feet below the griffin. Arathius.
Wrath will move in because it's up in the air, and then Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Oof.
Suck it, Trebek.
Nice.
So yeah,
When someone's rolling over 20.
So yeah, so the Eldritch Blast that you unleash, basically as the creature is pulling away, the blast strikes it and just kind of like knocks it down out of the air. It loses probably like 5-6 feet of altitude before it kind of regains itself, and you can tell that hit took a lot out of it. That will bring us to Deacon.
All right, so it's still in the air, eh?
It is still like it did lose some altitude just from the force of that blast, but it's still about 60 feet above you.
So, can I reach with the hand axe or no?
What's the range on your hand axe?
Uh, 20 to 60.
So yeah, it's just within range, but you are at disadvantage.
I mean, I'd use the javelin, but I'm worried the bloody thing would get stuck in it and it would fly away with it. So that being said, well, we'll try the hand axe.
So you line up, and I mean, this is a far throw for a hand axe, especially when you're throwing like almost straight up, and you just fall short.
Okay.
That will bring us to Agri.
I look up at it and point and say, "You run away now." Animal handling.
Yeah, I'll let you make an animal handling roll. It'll be at disadvantage, but
Okay.
yeah, 9.
Got nothing that's 60 feet without going crazy.
So yeah, so it lets out a screech. You're not sure if it's in response to you or in response to the fact that it's, it was just having lunch and then a bunch of people came up and attacked it. But you do get the sense that this thing is, despite its kind of like mixture of eagle and lion parts, it does seem to respond the way you would expect a regular like woodland animal to act.
Okay.
So, and that will bring us back to Helena.
I'm gonna follow it up. I think I got 30 feet. What do I got with my wings?
I think
I don't know.
they give you a flight speed equal to your walking speed.
Yeah, so 30 feet.
Okay.
And I'm gonna shoot my crossbow to take advantage of my spell.
Okay.
So 17 to hit.
Yeah, that is it. So yeah, so you kind of zero in the magic kind of guiding your aim. And you fly up and you fire crossbow and it sinks deep into this creature and it lets out like another squawk.
Okay.
And then it just wheels and just like with very mighty beats of its wings just flies, putting it at about 220 feet from the party and about 190 feet from Helena.
Oh, it's done. It doesn't want to play with us anymore, guys.
Yeah, it is definitely putting everything it can into getting away.
Yeah.
Fleeing's
Okay.
good.
Someone should probably check on the human now.
That was going to be my next initiative action, but combat's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, there's no way that you can keep up with it if it's just trying to get away. It is.
Yeah, no, my flight speed's not even close to even rival it.
Yeah, it's easily like on the ground. It was kind of like moved clumsily, but once it gets in the air, it is surprisingly fast. It's not agile, but it is surprisingly fast.
Yeah, it's the type of creature you can tell it's meant to be in the air.
Yes. When Arathius, when you kind of get up there, you can see that the human definitely definitely has passed on. It doesn't look like the griffin wasn't eating it or anything. It was focused solely on the horse. It was just the initial attack probably killed this person.
I don't blame it. Humans taste horrible.
And actually call it an investigation check. So yeah, as you're looking, like there's some talon marks on the person, some talon marks on the horse, but both of them look smushed.
Smushed. I don't think the griffin's the only threat on this road.
Ever do you mean?
They look partially crushed as well as the talon marks from the griffin.
So you think the griffin was just picking at carrion?
Well, neither of those animals are scavengers, so it just may have been something else also attacked them, and the griffin just kind of finished them off while they were escaping.
Possibly. I can fly ahead and scout a little bit if we want. See if I can see anything.
Now I'm curious what brought the rider all the way out here when the plains aren't exactly safe for humankind.
I don't know.
Oh well, let's check the bags. Maybe he's got a message or something.
It's probably a good idea.
So aggregate, as you get a little closer, yeah, you've seen this sort of thing before. Some birds of prey will basically grab their prey and then just drop it from a great height, and it looks like that's pretty much what happens. The horse and the rider were just dropped from a great height.
Ouch.
Griffin dropped it.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit heartening, but at the same time, oh my god. Oh my gods.
Well, let's hope it's
Wouldn't
not
have
the
wanted to be
only
horse.
Griffin droppings, yay.
Yeah, that's sounds disconcerting.
And as you kind of search through the pouch, you find about 150. Yeah, about 150 silver coins and a letter, along with trail rations and the sort of stuff you'd expect to find on somebody traveling.
I'll add the things except for the letter to the community backpack of mine.
What's the letter say? Is it sealed?
It was sealed, but the seal is broken.
Probably from the impact.
No, probably like this rider got the letter and then broke the seal when he read it.
You can't trust a messenger these days.
Or more like he was the recipient?
Yes. And the letter is from, it bears the symbol of the city of Mitros, which is the largest city in Thylia. Probably about 5-6 days south of Estoria on the coast. The letter is actually from King Acastus. That says, this rider is on business from the king, from the city of Mitros, tasked with finding the heroes of the prophecy. Please aid him in whatever he requires.
Look, he was looking for us.
Yeah, looks like the king of Mitros wants to see us.
We should probably go back to the other place first and, save the princess.
Yeah, we've got a little time for that, but yeah, definitely don't want to get too far away so that we miss that.
Right.
I mean, we can possibly send a different messenger to the king saying we get your message. We'll get there in like in a moon.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, maybe give ourselves time to also hit the necropolis on the way.
Sure. We can do all the things.
Yay!
So after this, you travel for maybe another hour or so, find a nice little place to set up camp. The stars are particularly bright and shiny. And you do notice as you look up that the constellations are particularly clear.
The stars dance with the light of fate.
So there's 9 constellations that seem to be particularly bright.
And they might be.
Finding my list.
Okay.
The bear, the Gigan, the prisoner, the heart, the trickster, the bard, the warrior, the centaur, the queen, and the twins. Oh, and the ant.
That's quite
Well,
interesting.
that's some of us.
Well, unless some of the rest of you have different code names for the constellation.
I don't know, man. Stars are not my thing. Unless, they're the famous kind.
I'm not huge on the arcane attachments behind them, but I do love them, and I'm naturally attuned with them.
They're great finding your way in the land.
Who all is trained in nature?
I'm trained in everything, technically.
Trained in what?
Nature.
Nature.
Yeah.
To say the truth, it should be.
Nature, what's that?
Yeah.
It's all around us.
Jack of all trades. I've got a little bit of everything.
Agri, since you're trained in nature, you can pick one of those constellations to kind of know the story of. And Helena, as a bard, you can make a roll.
Cool. Nature roll, I assume?
Yes.
And Agri's totally gonna pick Centaur because
Unless I can get advantage on that, I know shit.
You know they're stars.
I know they're stars.
All right. So the centaur.
I know that as long as they're not falling, it's okay.
You're probably fine.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So the.
Although you think. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Oh no, go ahead. I was gonna
say you would think religion would have something about astrology as well.
Stars and gods are different things. They don't usually commune to us through mystical bits that we have to interpret. It's a bit more direct.
Yeah, maybe if you're we're more of an oracle religion than a specific deity.
Yeah.
So the story that Agri can tell you over the campfire is the constellations that are sometimes referred to as the Centaur and the Scorpion. It's a very old tale that goes back in your tribe for hundreds of years. It says a centaur came across a scorpion stuck in a puddle of mud. The scorpion begged for help, but the centaur was afraid of getting stung, so he trotted away and left her to die.
Oh no.
A gust of wind blew a branch onto the puddle, and the scorpion was able to scramble along and escape. She then followed the centaur's hoofprints, seeking revenge on the selfish beast that had refused to help her. She found the centaur sleeping in a shady glen and stung him in the throat. As the lethal venom coursed through his veins, the centaur thrashed about until one of his hooves landed on the scorpion, crushing her. If you hadn't sought revenge, we'd both be alive, the centaur lamented with his dying breath. If you had helped me, I wouldn't have sought revenge, the scorpion replied.
Dun dun dun.
It's a good story. I'm gonna write that one down. Helena proceeds to write that down.
That's why we must help the unfortunate. Unfortunately for the human, he got dropped.
Unfortunately, we were too late for him to be still unfortunate.
Does that story not make sense to anyone else? Or is it just me?
No, it totally makes sense. You should always help those you can help, but don't seek revenge if you don't get the help you need.
But he did help.
Right, he didn't help, and he died for it. But the scorpion also died because he sought revenge for not getting what he wanted. Revenge is useless.
Was the stick not helpful?
Yeah.
It wasn't
The
the
stick
help
was
he was
helpful.
looking for.
Maybe. That's why I don't. This is
Well,
why I'm a
one could-
priestess and not a teller of tales or interpreter of stars.
Maybe the scorpion was just greedy. It wanted more than it got.
Maybe.
It got what it needed, but not what it wanted.
One could even say the stick might be along the lines of the fates.
Oh, you're always going to get what you need, regardless of if it's what you want.
Whether you can tell it's what you want or not.
When it comes to meeting your fate, there's rarely want involved.
This is the saving you deserve.
This is the end you have wrought, not the end that you desire.
If it had just the scorpion had just gotten out of the puddle and went on its business happy to be alive, everyone would still be alive.
So the moral of the story is be happy you're alive?
Sure.
It?
Help those when you can, and don't seek revenge if people can't help you.
Well, let's hope my sister has heard that story, yeah?
We still might be able to help your sister.
I'm pretty sure we can still help your sister.
I
Yeah.
think we can.
I think we have to.
I'm relatively certain that the Lady of Dreams and Death will be amused by it as opposed to upset by the loophole.
If nothing else, I'm looking for a way to fuck you decide on.
Well, I mean, first there was the boar, then there was rescuing the oracle, then we've helped rescue the centaurs and restarted the forge. I'm pretty sure everything we've been doing so far has been fuck you decide on.
I mean, my entire culture is based on a fuck you decide on, so.
Alrighty.
I still think our best bet might be to swap sister.
We're not trading one life for another. It doesn't work that way. Also,
No.
we need you.
But I think I would do better in her position than she's going to.
I think that either of you would
Need
do
you.
just fine because we're going to follow the letter of the agreement, and the sacrifice doesn't have to be her blood, her life. And I am partially in a position to accept the sacrifice.
And, we need you.
What do you mean, accept the sacrifice? What does that?
I'm a child of Lutheria, as that was part of the sacrifice.
That's one way to get around it.
Odd, but maybe. I'm sure they have someone specific in mind, though.
But there was no specifics given in the contract.
And it's all about the wording.
That's why I said I'm pretty sure that the lady would be more amused than upset. Oh, of course she's going to be upset, but she'll appreciate it.
She won't be as upset as her brother.
So you guys talk into the early hours of the evening before bedding down. Everybody, I assume, takes watches as is standard. It is uneventful and peaceful. Dreams seem to come easy and full of gladness and good tidings. In a weird way, it's almost disconcerting that everything that you know that is happening and everything that you've experienced, your dreams are not troubled.
Is anybody else too happy? Like, maybe it's just the emo in me, but I'm not used to being this content. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable.
I'm used to being this content because I know that a very dark turn awaits me, and I just try and focus on the other stuff.
Yeah, no, this is making me uncomfortable. I'm not used to being this content. Something bad is going to happen.
Possibly, but also
Consider it a gift.
yes, entertain the idea that maybe, just maybe, in the path that we're walking is providing us comfort of mind.
Yeah, no. Life doesn't work that way.
Enjoy the small moments of joy you can get, because regardless, on the path of fate as heroes, I doubt that we're destined for the most glorious and happy events.
True.
The big thing in
Maybe
my
I'm just...
Yes, happy. Yeah.
well, the big thing in my existence as a soldier, you trudge from one battle to the next battle to the next battle, with the only basic purpose being the fulfillment of someone else's power. But now I can help people, and I feel good about that, and I would like to keep doing that.
Good. I'm glad you're somewhat happier.
I'm getting closer on my journey to finding my family. How can I not?
Maybe I'm just paranoid, but
You
Kevin's
feel
got logs
ominously
like he's
good.
I had a good night's sleep. This is obviously an ill portent.
it's true.
A good night's
It's
sleep
true.
is always a bad sign.
I never sleep this well without booze, okay? I usually have to get blackout drunk to sleep this well.
Maybe we're rubbing off on you.
Making me uncomfortable.
Maybe we're all rubbing off on you and making you uncomfortable too.
Yeah, well, anyone being this nice to me for this long makes me uncomfortable, but without wanting something.
Oh, you're a treasure. You
Aren't
deserve
I,
to be
though?
kept around.
I thought so.
So you guys pick up and continue on your way. Better part of a day's journey later, you see the cobblestone road that leads to the gate of Estoria. You see the city itself overlooking the river. Little bridge that goes across it.
How the Centaur tribe's looking.
They're still camped out on the far side of the river from the city. And you don't know if there's more of them or if you just forgot exactly how many of them there were, but there are a lot of them.
Yay.
No, probably a couple more. Some late arriving tribe.
Well, I mean, worst case scenario, can't we get the other centaurs to help us?
Possible.
Most likely not.
I mean, if it came right down to it, couldn't we get them to talk to each other and, maybe help us broker some kind of peace?
There was some options, if I remember correctly, of us talking with the centaurs or something.
It was an option that was floated at one point, but you realize that the centaurs, the ones that are loyal to Sidon, basically respect strength. And you had no idea what that may have entailed, so you haven't approached them yet.
Yeah, we still had it on the table, but didn't decide to follow through on it yet.
Well, I mean, if we have other centaurs to walk us through it, the cultural exchange, so to speak, other than just Agri, it may be easier.
It also sounded like those centaurs didn't want anything to do with these ones.
It's just another option that's out there.
So yes, you guys arrive at Estoria as it's closing in on probably around supper time.
Hey, Chris,
Yes.
what do we know about the garrison in the city?
There isn't. I mean, there's a militia, and there's a city guard. They number maybe a couple hundred.
Okay, and are the walls all complete? Just gates to have to defend?
Yeah, the city itself is walled, and from one approach, it's like one narrow bridge that leads to the city over the river.
Well, if worst case comes to worst case, it sounds like it's a defensible position.
The city is very much a defensible position. It's like built up against some cliffs, using like natural natural like valleys between the cliffs for the entrance into the city. The single bridge across. It is very, very defensible.
Cool.
Which then leads me to believe then that perhaps there's a little bit more going on than just the Centaur army. Because honestly, why would you send the cavalry to do a siege?
Yeah.
It's a show of force muster, at the very least.
I agree,
Something.
Rathius.
Are there any essential goods that have to come across that bridge? Because we came in from the other side, so obviously they have access to farmlands and virtually anything else they might need.
yes, this gate here where the bridge is primarily serves as the main gate to the rest of the heartlands, to kind of the western heartlands. All of the farms and everything are on the other side of the city, on the eastern side, and yes, the gate that you guys came through leads into the farmlands and the pastoral lands and the vineyards and stuff.
Okay.
So this gate is.
So what's to the west?
You guys are coming from the west, so from the west of. Here, I will load up the world map.
Cool.
So to the west of Estoria is the mountains, so that would where ore and mithril and things like that would come from for smelting. And it is you do need to go at this west gate and then south to get to the capital city of Mitros. So there'd be a lot of manufactured trade goods would primarily use this gate, whereas the gate you guys originally entered Estoria from is the gate that kind of leads to the farmlands that are part of the city.
Okay.
Maybe it's not so much preventing. I don't know. I was thinking that maybe it isn't so much taking a siege of the city, it's just cutting them off from something essential. Either the city's ability to help someone to the west, because it doesn't seem like there's any threat coming in from the east. I don't know if you were loading a map, Chris, but we're just getting a black screen.
Yeah.
I forgot this is effective vision, that's why. There, is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, much.
So yes, you guys have basically traveled from this area here. This is where like the mithril mines are.
Okay.
Over here is the Temple of the Oracle, where you met Versailles and had the prophecy. A little bit further to the east is the Sour Vintage, the first tavern where you guys all met. Down south is where the temple to Demetria was. And then further to the south on the coast is the city of Mitros.
So really, the only thing they're most directly blocking off would be the necropolis. And even then, as long as someone was willing to go up
But not really, because
north and west.
the southern gate leads down towards the necropolis.
So then what is
The same one we
issue?
took to get into the temple.
So our thought process is they can't really properly take the city.
They're not really blockading the city.
So maybe it's just more of a threat of might than anything else. But even then, isn't Pythor supposed to be a god of war and tactics? Shouldn't he?
Yeah, but in the state we found him in,
You
if they
mean
called for
the
if they
state
called
and
for
the
a straight
position?
fight, he would have probably just charged out and faced them on the plane.
Also, I believe he's not allowed to participate.
Yeah, but he may have had his men charge out.
He also may not have understood the position he was in the state that he was in.
Those of you who are trained in either religion or history can make a roll.
Yeah, just give me a sec.
Good lord.
Maybe she went with religion.
Maybe.
Hey, I have actual training in religion. Look at that.
So
That's
Deacon,
ironic.
Deacon and Helena, your understanding of the Oath of Peace is basically the Titans and the gods are not allowed to directly interfere. Absolutely not.
Okay.
But they also can't, like, Pythor can't tell his, like, if these guys are here at the behest of Sidon, right? Pythor can't tell his army to attack Sidon's forces.
But Sidon theoretically shouldn't be able to say the same thing.
Right.
He hasn't told them to attack.
Exactly.
He's just
here
told
as
them
a
to camp
reminder.
outside. So how is he able to demand the sacrifice of Pythor's daughter then? Isn't that direct interference?
Nope, because sacrifices are part of the job.
It's a loophole.
Alright, so we're gonna fight a loophole with a loophole.
That's why I was saying that I can accept the sacrifice.
Yeah,
Maybe the forces are just here as a taunt.
I think so, especially to the god of war.
Hmm. Certainly
Seems like a
seems
very
taunting.
nasty taunt. Yeah.
And Deacon,
However,
um,
the other loophole would be if the city changes hands.
Deacon, to your kind of trained in military expertise, there's no possible way the centaurs can take this city. Doesn't mean hundreds of people aren't going to die.
Yeah.
Sacrificial slaughter.
Sacrifice one way or another.
Essentially, yeah. Unfortunately.
Hi, Rock. This is Hard Place. How you doing?
So, back to the task at hand. We have, at this point, 4 nights before a sacrifice.
I did about that.
And to recollect our options is obvious. Do the sacrifice. Possibly something to do with talking to the centaur for a feat of strength. And
That-
what
that
was our
wouldn't-
last other options?
That one wouldn't nullify the sacrifice because they're just here to observe that as far as everyone's been made aware.
Okay.
We're basically acting as our own agency, so therefore we are not technically part of whatever's going on.
Well, we're definitely not part of what's going on because otherwise that would run the risk of others violating the truce.
And
Yes.
can I ask a stupid question? What if we just prevent the sacrifice from happening?
Well, that's what I was thinking too, on the guise of just showing up, then again, run off with the sister and be done with it.
Right, because that's not the gods interfering, that's us interfering.
And we are heroes, yo.
We're not necessarily doing it on behalf of Pythor. It's
that-
Sophia's sister.
It's that independent agency I was talking about.
Hmm. Let's be a loophole, y'all.
So, where's this sacrifice supposed to be taking place?
On the rock in the
Near the
ford.
water.
I'm pretty sure you'll be able to identify what rock if you get down by number 11.
I'd like to point out, I am an amazing swimmer.
I'd like to point out if we don't have to do anything if we're just going to around the rock if we're just going to be let's take her away, haha, hee hee.
Well, didn't I suggest this in the first place? I believe I suggested this in the first place. Let's just take the princess and run.
Yeah, but I don't have a garbage scow to haul her off in. And I feel like it'd be disingenuous if we didn't.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we could figure it out. If it makes you feel better, we can like rent a wagon or something.
Sophia, where is your sister now?
The last father said she was in her room in the palace.
Well, it's probably a lot easier to break in there than to take on a whole centaur army.
Probably a lot easier simply to ask to meet my sister.
Maybe
Yeah,
we should also
but
skip
we
the
need
rock at some point.
yeah, we need to make it look though like it's yeah, like it's not like they knew us and then ran away and with us spirited off into the night. You make it look like maybe something might have happened.
I don't think we do. It's not Pythor asking us to do anything. It's us pulling all the strings. Like
Oh
again,
no,
this is Sophia's sister. She wants to meet her sister. That's nothing
All
untoward.
right. Can anyone remember the exact words of the sacrifice demand to make sure Pythor doesn't sacrifice someone else after we do this?
I believe he specifically said it had to be his daughter. So unless he's got more children in the city other than that daughter and Sophia.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Oddly enough, you guys never actually asked what exactly the sacrifice entailed. You were concerned on the who it entailed.
Let's
Maybe
go
we
get
should go
some
figure that out.
answers.
I'm pretty sure it involves her being chained to that rock and then rent asunder by those that come to claim her.
Well, that doesn't sound pleasant at all. Let's stop by the forge first.
Yeah, okay, go tell your grandfather that it's already over for him now.
Exactly.
And explain what the word payment means?
I'm sure he
Well,
understands what payment means.
just not in relation
Well,
to
well,
this.
Just not in a relation to coming out of his own pocket.
yeah, just basically along the ideas of, hey, this is what we found there. This is what's happening. This is what you'll be required over time. I'll also leave him like the mithril that I have, the 2 ring armors, and the ingot, and then that way, hopefully, he can maybe craft something with it, like human-sized chainmail. La, la, la.
All right. So yes, you guys make your way through Estoria to Volcan's Hall. There's the sound of cursing and the banging of metal on metal. The door is slightly ajar. It's like, Theo, go get me another hammer. Broke this one. Nobody makes tools like they used to anymore.
Well, why don't you make a tool?
I already did. He's the king.
Well, I meant in the silvery fires of the forge.
He kind of
I'm
turns
sorry
around.
if that offended anybody, but I thought it was funny.
And you can see like he's kind of his eyes kind of go over all of you, but like once he sees Sophia, you can see this kind of look of relief come over him. So you were successful at the forges.
Yep.
Well, that's indeed good news. We can.
You should maybe not enslave fire elementals next time. Feels like a bad idea.
But after a year and a day, he's willing to negotiate for his services.
Her services. Oh,
I was gonna say I thought it was a she.
Her, yeah.
don't they?
That's
teach you-
that's me misremembering.
I was gonna say, yeah, you got the 19 intelligence. You would remember.
Yeah, Arathius would not forget. B did.
Yeah. So okay. And he's like, Theo, put down the hammer. Start packing stuff. We're moving the shop. And he kind of comes over to Sophia, and you have to remember, like, he's only like about 4.5 feet tall.
Hey, so am I.
He kind
And
of
we love you for it.
motions for Sophia to bend down.
She'll kneel just on one knee.
He'll kind of like put his like head very close to yours, kind of like kind of putting his forehead against yours, and very very quietly he's like, thank you for coming back. Then he kind of
Is he
like,
coming back if I was never here to begin with?
the forges are dangerous. I'm glad that some of your father's blood flows through you.
Oh, coming back alive from the forge, you mean?
Yes.
I don't think that was. Well, no, for a minute or two it might have been in question, but not for very long.
So once you guys get settled for the night, come see me, and I'll show you some. I'll show you some tricks with the hammer. But you guys look like you've been on the road for a bit.
Yeah, we still have to see some dwarves and check in with a ruler.
I am hungry.
You're always hungry.
That's the understatement of the epic, dear.
That's not even really something that needs to be said. It's just commonly understood.
Yeah, it's like her whole body is hollow or something.
Right.
Hey, it takes a lot of effort to keep these wings.
Evidently.
Do you think you'd have
I
grown
wouldn't
taller
know.
by now then?
Yeah. That's why I haven't grown any taller. All of my energy goes into growing my wings.
Gotcha.
They're wider than I am tall. And she unfurls her wings, and they're like almost the length that Sophia is tall.
Fair.
I could see where it would take a lot of energy to keep those going. But
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, you never know when you might die. Do you want to die on an empty stomach?
No.
Truly.
So go.
I hand over the mithril
the
to him.
least of my concerns.
Oh, is there anything in particular you'd like done with this?
Well, if you can figure out a way to work them into a set of human chainmail, I'd be very happy.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Might take me a day or two once I get to the forge.
Excellent.
Like, yeah, I can definitely. He kind of like looks you over, kind of like. You can tell he's kind of sizing you up. Like, yeah, I can do that. Is there anything else you guys? Anything else that you think you might need? I mean, I'm gonna have some extra material here. Swords and daggers are pretty easy to pound out to give Theo some experience working with this stuff.
I'm sure you might have a better idea than some of us as to what would best work for us.
I was like, well, you're a wee bit on the scrawny side, so I don't see you swinging around a great axe.
No, generally not. I mean, I could wield the one I summon, but I'm not going to wield it as well as, say, Deacon here.
He's a hoplite. Spear will serve him good.
Always have.
My voice usually works the best for me.
Well, not much I can do there. I'll see what I can do. I can probably pound out a couple of shields or something.
Wonderful.
Can you do a magical pitch pipe?
That's really more my sister's forte. But
That's fair.
I can probably put something together for you.
I would appreciate that.
And yeah, if you find any other mithril or especially if you find any adamantine or any adamantine items that you're not using, let me know and I'll see what I can do with those.
Yeah, I have one that I'm using.
Yeah, and there was a handful of ones that we aren't.
It's like the trick with adamantine is if you ever need to like break down a door, break a lock, something like that, nothing better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Theo and I are going to get packed up. If you guys want to go and grab a meal across there at the Dragon's Tooth, just tell them to put it on my tab.
Thank you.
Wait, Helena, wait for me.
Despite how much Helena eats, we can't actually pay for ourselves.
Yeah, but this is gratitude, right?
Thank you for not dying, Neil.
Well, forgetting the forges up.
Does that mean I can get 2 platters?
Oh,
She looks
God.
really excited.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You haven't seen her eat. It's
It's an experience.
yes, yes, it is.
He just looks at Sophie and is like, you think Pythor can't put away the food when he's in the mood?
Oh, I'm sure he can, but she's so tiny.
It's
Yeah.
rather like watching.
Platter as big as she is.
It's
I'm
rather like
pretty sure-
watching piranha strip flesh.
I'm pretty sure that she could use that platter just as a bed.
And for a little context, if you look at Helena, she's very much like as a siren would have a swimmer's body. So she's very like thin and lisp and hardly an ounce on her.
She's so tiny. My thigh is bigger than her.
So he just walks over to the door and he kind of like leans out and he yells very loudly just across the street to the, because the Dragon's Tooth Tavern is across the street from the smithy. He's like, Delphion!
Oh,
Delphion! Give these folks whatever they want. Yeah, I'll pay
Yep.
for it.
he's definitely Pythor's father. That's a voice that carries.
I didn't
I
mean to
don't
post
know
that in
where
the
I get
chat.
it from.
I was trying to read it.
It wouldn't do any
Yes.
good for her to be a god and not be heard.
Well, yes, that's true. But no, I
Yeah, if you click
understand
on
now.
it, it'll the name of it. It'll usually expand on your character sheet.
Thank you. I was just trying to read it and it just posted it.
Yeah.
Because I realized I'm at that level now and I've got at least 8 points in it.
So are we going to eat, or are we going to go talk to Pythor first?
Well,
What
it
time of
is-
day is
We
it?
should probably give the dwarves the remains, which would probably mean going to the tavern anyway.
yeah.
What time is it, Chris?
It's supper time.
Yeah, it's
anyways.
around supper time.
I could check in and see how well he's doing, and I'll meet you back at the tavern.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you need assistance?
Need backup?
I can't imagine him being a threat to me, but
You need someone to take a punch in the face?
no, I think that's fine. If he raises a hand to me, I'm sure everyone will know soon enough.
I'm willing to accompany you.
All right.
Might as well make it a party affair.
I mean, we could. I am just as concerned about the dwarves since I did tell them that we would go. And sort of press one of them to act as a guide.
Well,
Tell you what, I'm fairly quick. I'll go and deliver the remains, and I'll meet you up there.
Sure.
That sounds good.
We'll get the details on the. We'll wait till you arrive.
Yep.
Before we ask for the details about this sacrifice plan. And you can get the exact wording to see how you can circumvent it for your own purposes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'd heard near the wording, but I'm not sure if we heard the exact. And it's been out of game. It's been months.
It's been a while since we've heard it.
Agri will also follow Erathius, as I think I was probably carrying some of that
Yeah.
dwarven body.
Yeah, so the two of us will go to the tavern first to turn over the remains of the dwarves and let them know that we've cleansed the mines, and Volcon's planning on heading there.
Okay.
Well, and also warn them about, the the potential gateway to Lutheria's realm.
Alrighty.
So
Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was just about the epic poem stuff.
All right. So, who's going where? There was a bunch of stuff all at once.
Egri and Arathius is going to the tavern to turn in the dwarfs, and the rest of the party is going up to the king's castle, and we're going to meet up there after the dwarfs.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you make your way across to the tavern, and you can see that the innkeeper he's like ordering people around, like, Volkan has basically just said, give these heroes whatever they want, and he has no idea what that might entail. So he's basically just like, getting them to fetch wine and to, get the fresh bread out, and, make sure that we've got olives and figs, and, go down into the barrels. And he's just like, it's kind of chaotic, and he's like, I don't know what they were going to order, but I want to make sure that I'm ready for them, because he seems flustered.
The main thing's going to be some wine and a couple horde platters, just so you know. We'll be back in a bit.
Okay, good. I can work with that. Thank you.
No problem.
And yeah, the dwarves are here taking their supper there at the back.
Hail, dwarf and friends.
Oh yes, you went to the Mithril Mines.
Yes, we've gone. We've defeated the cursed monstrosities that were summoned there, and relit the fires, and have returned.
We didn't think that was possible.
It was. It wasn't as smooth as the tales will later say it was, but it was, and it is done.
Were there any of our kin alive?
We've collected what remains we could and brought them back with us here for you.
I see. I suppose hoping for survivors would have been too much, but this is this will put hearts and minds to rest.
No, there were several death dogs which were born of the plague that Lutheria brought, and there were cockatrices. So now, and then troglodytes had moved in as well.
It was not a pretty sight.
Well, we thank you for doing this. We understand that you had your own business, but to take the time to help us is deeply appreciated.
It was the least we could do while we were there as well, would be to take care of your people's woes and make it accessible again. Volkan and his apprentice intend to set out probably on the morrow.
We'll speak with him. If the mines are operational, he's going to need assistance. And it certainly beats the iron mines and the copper mines.
Indeed, much of the mechanics and whatnot that had been there around the central shaft were destroyed or rotted, but the primary lift down to the forge was operating.
Well, thank you. And he kind of like rummages around. He pulls out like this little pouch of coins. Like, we understand that you did this for us as opposed to for coin.
We can't accept your coin. You may need it for your people to relocate back to those mines, or to take care of those that choose not to.
We can afford to spare this. And he'll just pass the coins over. And it's like not a large sack, weighs probably about a pound or so. But when you kind of glance in, all of the coins are of a very very bright white metal.
Oh,
I expect as heroes, people will expect you to do many things for free. And hopefully, if somebody is in that situation, these coins will help you to not take on debt to do the right thing.
in that case, for the future need, thank you.
Welcome. And then they start like talking amongst themselves in their own dwarven language. And they
I've
seem
never
to,
seen a bag of Colsons before.
and it's a good size sack. It's probably about 50 coins.
Hmm.
And yeah, so they start talking amongst themselves, and you catch like the odd word here or there that you've heard in your travels, and it seems like there's a lot of like, we're actually getting a chance to go home. And then they look like they kind of like raise their glasses to you and give you a toast. And then in common, very loudly, so the whole tavern hears. They're like, thanks to these heroes, we have a chance to go home. And the whole tavern, I mean, some of them are like, yeah, I'm eating my food, whatever. But a number of the people in the tavern kind of raise their glasses and cheer. And it's that same sort of feeling you had when you first went back to the Sour Vintage after defeating the boar, after Kyra had kind of told everybody about things. And you can see the effect that what you've been doing is having on people who are otherwise somewhat, downtrodden, not knowing whether the Titans are going to, send an army to raise the city, whether their beloved princess is going to get sacrificed. For that brief moment, there's this sense of hope that kind of fills the area.
To a
Smile.
brighter future.
Agri just smiles.
Meanwhile, over at the palace,
La, la, la.
Yes.
We'll like that Scooby Doo change.
there you go.
I love it.
It was all a dream. As you approach the pedal,
That sucks.
you can hear yelling from inside. But it's more of a like, keep your guard up. Who told you to hold a sword that way?
Is it just me or does he sound sober?
He sounds sober and working.
There we go.
Apparently, you've been a good influence.
I don't know if I'd go that far. But it's encouraging.
Mm.
And yeah, as you kind of enter into the palace, the guards recognize you immediately, so they're just like, "Go on." And they do kind of smile at Sophia. And kind of in the throne room where you first encountered Pythor. Yeah, he's sparring with this, moderately attractive blonde girl. Looks like she's probably 15, 16. She definitely knows how to use, like, they're not training with like wooden swords or anything like that. They're blunted, but they're not wooden or anything, and she's doing a pretty good job. He stops for a moment, kind of like corrects her position, and looks up and says, "Welcome back."
Thank you.
I feel like that might be your sister.
I think so too.
Like, yes, this is Honora. Honora, this is your sister, Sophia.
I'm typing something relevant.
She kind of walks forward.
Type thing in message in chat group.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yes,
Huh.
it was after the second sobriety test scene.
She didn't want to
Before-
come out of her room?
Oh yeah, there was like the frozen moment. They never actually met. They
Yeah.
just talked through the door. Right. It's been,
So her
it's
voice
been a
came-
while.
Just called it the frozen moment.
I've never seen it, never planned to.
I have 2 little girls. I have seen it so many times.
My sympathies.
Hey, it's okay. You're welcome.
No. See, that I'll watch again.
So yeah, so you do recognize the voice.
How tall is she?
She's pretty tall. She's probably about like 5'10".
Okay.
She's still taller than me. Actually, she's about as tall as me in real life.
Yeah, Sophia though is I think 7 feet tall.
I thought you were 8 feet tall.
Like she's way up there.
Depends whether you count the horns or not.
You always count the horns.
It's like, I'm sorry that I didn't come to meet you when you were here. I was thinking.
Yes, from what I understand, you have quite a bit to think about. Or had. I'm going to try to change that.
I accept my responsibilities for the city.
I don't.
You shouldn't have to be responsible for a Titan being a dick. That's not your responsibility.
No, but it is my responsibility to make sure that innocent people don't die.
That's what we're here for.
We can help with that. We're really good at that. Like,
Sophia will lean in
surprisingly
a
good
bit.
at that.
Sophia leans in a bit and goes, "By the way, you're one of the innocent ones."
Yes, but I am the leader of the city.
No, not currently. He is.
I've done more for the city lately than he has. I'm sure you know why.
That would not surprise me.
And if my sacrifice means that hundreds of people continue to live and enjoy the city that he's built, then that is the way it will be.
Sophia nods her head as she's speaking. Yes, I can certainly see that point of view.
So if there is another
But
way,
we still don't plan to allow that to happen.
and I appreciate that. I think it's important to note that if there is another way, I don't intend to throw myself away needlessly.
Appreciate that. That would make my job much harder.
But as his daughter, I tend to be stubborn.
Oh, sweetie, you've met your match.
One might say she's bullheaded.
It's a good thing you're still at the tavern. Well, I think there are some things that might be hereditary.
Perhaps. So yes, if there is another way, then I will gladly do what I can. But if there is no other way, you won't stop me.
We plan to make another way.
Well,
Usually when we get involved, there becomes another way, because we make it.
And to that end, the terms of the sacrifice, do you have them written down?
I am to be chained to the rock on the night of the full moon and left overnight.
That's it.
Well, I imagine some monstrosity at the commander side and will come around during some time to kill me.
Okay, so if we just simply guard you overnight.
Shush, shush, shush,
And-
shush, shush, shush.
When Arathius gets here, we'd like to get the actual full phrasing.
Okay.
Very well. I'm going to go and have my supper.
Enjoy.
But if you have any questions, or if your friend has any questions, let me know.
Sure.
Sophia will look over at Pythor. Look at you. All sober and military.
Well, I don't know if I'm used to it yet.
Don't worry, you'll get there.
I realize that I have limited time to spend with those I care for. And I would like to be able to remember that time.
That
Could be.
is the best idea you've had in a while.
I mean, if either of you were to perish, though, I cannot guarantee I would maintain this.
Oh no, if something happens to her, you have to maintain it. I'm not taking the blame for you drinking again. I'll do what I can to save her, but if that doesn't work out for some odd reason, what you do after is your fault.
I will do what I
Yes,
can.
you can. And you will.
You remind me of my father.
He and I get along quite well.
I'm not surprised. Well, come. Have you had supper yet?
No, grandfather is apparently paying for us to eat at the inn tonight.
Oh. Well, that does sound lovely. I shall accompany you.
Okay, yes.
I think your grandfather's going to regret that later.
Yeah.
We did try to warn him about how much you eat.
It's not my he's going to regret it. It's not my
He
fault.
didn't listen.
Maybe it'll be like a sign from above or something.
That this is a sign he should listen to his granddaughter when she warns him about how much Harpy will eat.
Yes.
I'm not a harpy.
Sorry, how much a bard will eat?
I'm a siren.
A siren. My apologies. I
She
do
lures
sincerely
people to their
apologize.
doom.
I'm sure it would be like someone calling me a centaur or calling Arathius a minotaur.
It
Very
would. Actually, it would.
She
It's
lures
very
people to their
insulting.
destruction. She
Oh
doesn't.
my,
She's not covered in
my
her own
God.
shit, cursing at people all day.
oh my God, how speciest.
Until recently, I hadn't spent much time with people who weren't entirely human. It's odd.
Well, speak.
You're not entirely human.
Oh no, not even remotely.
Yes, speaking as the lone human.
It is a bit
used to
odd,
thinking
isn't
you're
it?
shaped like you. You're a dime a dozen. I'm digging my hole deeper and deeper, aren't I? Wow. I think maybe I do need supper soon.
Yes, let's go eat. I'm
Before you
hungry.
chew on your own foot.
So yes, so Pythor he'll get Honora to come along as well.
Oh, family outing.
But
Right.
I'm eating in my room.
It's like So it is very much a family outing. So as Agri and Arathius are like getting ready to leave the tavern, um, you can hear the commotion. As you know, the king and the princess are basically walking the streets.
What's
Uh,
that? What's that? There's something in the air.
Yes.
Don't start. Don't start.
I watched that movie today too.
And as you guys, this is the first time you've been in the city with Pythor, and people give him they give him a wide berth. Like, there's definitely a show of respect, but there's this like look of like adoration for Honora. Like and you can tell, like, as she talks to people, she greets people. She's definitely has that very personable nature about her.
So she's like the anti-Pythor.
Yes, she's very, like, she takes time to, like, she stops to talk to, like, the cobbler as he's like closing up his shop, and ask him how business is, and
Almost like she's been ruling the city in his stead while he was in a drunken stupor.
yeah, and not just that, but actually taking the time to get to know people.
Yeah. It's like Princess Diana.
Very much so.
Oh wow.
And as you arrive at the Dragon's Tooth Inn, see Vulcan's like in the middle of packing up his shop, and he kind of looks over.
Watch a lot of crowd, okay?
Then he looks over again, kind of like, Theo, finish packing, and he comes over to join you as well.
Hey, it really is a family affair.
Well, this is going to be the talk of the land for a while.
And as you enter the tavern, people are just like stopping, like midway to like lifting their spoon or their knife or whatever up to their mouth. Just kind of stop and stare. And the
This won't be
innkeeper,
uncomfortable at all.
Delphion, is like kind of ushers some people out, so he makes like a little kind of like more private space in one of the corners of the tavern. Kind of like squishes some of the other patrons together who may not otherwise be like at the same table. That's kind of like moves them aside to give you guys like a big table at the back in a corner.
I take Sophia's arm and kind of pat her on the head. It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine.
Yes, what could
So
possibly
I guess
go
you brought the
wrong
palace
sitting
to
with my
us.
alcoholic father in a bar?
They
I
have
know.
lovely water.
It's quite
They
possible.
do.
I drink it every time I'm here.
The siren could choke.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
No, I doubt it
I
either.
greatly
But
doubt it too.
one of the great
I
heroes,
don't choke on anything, but there's an innuendo in there.
one of the great heroes of the prophecy meets their end in a tavern by being able to undefeat the horde.
It was that centaur sausage. She just couldn't handle it.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
Menus, yes, we should have menus.
I don't know what I'm getting. I don't need a menu.
Oh dear.
Oh.
So they bring food, they bring wine, they bring water, just a non-ending like stream of like food and beverage and delicacies, and you're not entirely sure how the kitchen is managing to keep up.
And Helena just keeps going.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm
town.
only eating the
Yes.
vegetarian items, no meat.
To that end, I'll every time a bottle of wine wrangles over, I'll wrangle it over and make sure that our lovely bard doesn't have an empty glass.
Oh, the bard will appreciate it. I will allow you to just keep pouring.
More importantly, it'll keep the wine on a certain
Away
side.
from
I know.
Thor. Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much.
So before long, they Pythor and Vulcan start telling, like, stories of the old days of, like, the battles fought and the weapons forged, and the war against the Titans. But it's a lot of there's a lot of embellishment. For those of you that are skilled in history, there is maybe like a kernel of truth in these stories someplace somewhere, but it would take a lot of digging to find.
It's like the godly version of a fish story.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, by the time I pulled it out, it was the Kraken.
Yeah. Very much that sort of thing. But eventually conversation does circle around to the upcoming sacrifice. And there is like a not like a sense of sadness, but a sense of, this is what's going to happen. Honora.
Resignation.
It's not even resignation. It's not like, oh, it's like, Honora firmly believes that this will keep people alive.
So Honora has to be chained to the rocks, and that's it?
Something about spending the night there, I believe.
Oh, I'm looking for exacts.
The more specific the wording, the better.
Yes, a detachment of warriors from Lord Sidon himself, the Lord of Storms, demanded that my daughter Enora was chained to the rock of Estoria amid the rushing waters of the Archelon River and left there overnight as an offering to Sidon.
Okay, we can work with that.
Nothing said about
She has to die.
sacrificing. There's no mention of sacrifice. There's no mention
No.
of
She
anyone
simply has to
actually
be
coming.
left there overnight.
Theoretically,
Hmm.
according to this.
She's supposed to be chained there overnight.
Right.
Yes. Does the water rise at
Doesn't
night?
mean that doesn't mean that the chains have to be, fully chainy.
Doesn't
Fully
mean that
chained.
there
Doesn't
can't
mean
be
that we
other
can't
witnesses.
sit on the rock with her and protect her.
Doesn't mean
Witnesses.
they have to be locked
Witnesses.
to her in
Mm.
any
Chains?
way.
Chains can be made of paper.
Chains can be made of a contract between a ruler and their people, meaning that they have to be on that rock. The chains of fealty.
But there's nothing about for something to consume her. Or that Sidon himself is going to show up and
Oh, he can't really, but
It's likely something will try to consume her, but that's not part of the contract. Therefore, we can stop that from happening.
I wonder if that's what the centaurs are for.
Has there been anybody else ever
Maybe.
chained down there?
There have been sacrifices from time to time, yes.
What happens to them normally?
They are left overnight and they are gone in the morning.
But no indication of what happens to them.
stains on the rock, judging by the colors when we walked by.
Mm.
I'm wondering if possibly we should make a visit down during this evening to see what appears.
Well, it's not the night of the sacrifice. I don't think there'll be much to appear. But it'd be
Never know.
worthwhile to at least watch the flow of the water.
Or we could leave like a horde plate there overnight.
Mine.
Not your horde plate, dear. Not yours.
We don't come between a siren and her.
No, we do not.
Guess that means
But
in
I
the
have-
morning it'll be like unleash the horde.
Yes, it will.
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah,
No.
I will
I'll
definitely make
continue
sure.
sleeping outside.
I will definitely make sure that. Yeah, I'm using the bathroom before Helena.
Well,
Oh my.
I suppose I can go
Outside,
and rest
where-
upon the walls above the rock this evening. I do enjoy sleeping upon high.
There does seem to be it does seem like a really high outcropping just east of it. Hmm. Five nights. We should be able to find out something more interesting.
I can take a swim around the rock in the morning to see what's under the water.
Doesn't look like there's a ton because it's also a ford.
It didn't look terribly deep. Of course, we didn't really go all that close to it, but
It's just before the shallowing, so imagine it's deeper than the rest of it, but not by much.
Well, I mean, looking at the map, it almost looks like there's the intent that there's somehow like a pathway through it. So maybe the
Yeah,
rock.
that's a ford.
Yeah. So
We should investigate it
Sure.
regardless.
and that's why I'm wondering if it looked like there was a path that went off toward the east. I'm wondering if it circles around and north to where those centaurs are.
quite possibly.
Oh, definitely.
Well, once you're back up on the bluff, you go either way.
Well, when I went out to sleep by the east gate, the distance down to the water is quite severe. So no one would be really walking up along the coast, up along the river's edge.
I think definitely giving a good scout would be a great idea.
Absolutely. But I wouldn't mind sleeping down there tonight. Orathius can be up high, I can be down near the water.
Yeah, I think it's best if I sleep in a bed tonight.
It's quite all right.
We're
Go
going to
ahead.
roll you into your bed tonight.
We'll make
I
sure you
could
get comfortable
still
before we leave.
walk.
I will accompany
Not in a straight line.
Sophia. I'll accompany Sophia and Arathius tonight. I am used to sleeping outside.
Mhm. We'll try to make sure that there's enough snoring that you're comfortable.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Helena's fairly trashed at this point.
Yes, definitely.
We're not even questioning it.
We'll definitely make sure that you get poured into your bed.
Well, they're
Mm.
trying. They keep feeding her wine to keep Pythor from drinking it.
Yeah, and that's why I said we'll pour you into bed.
Between
Just make
that
sure
and the
I have
horde
a
meal,
bucket.
we're just gonna roll you in. Set up
Make
a
sure I
bucket.
have a bucket.
Yeah, it'll be like, drunk as a skunk and, basically, yeah, ready to about split open.
Yep.
Like an overstuffed sausage.
So gross.
Yeah, exactly.
So gross.
Well, when the food baby takes up about 2/3 of your body, I mean, I'm just saying.
Eh,
I
It's like,
don't
oh,
know where she puts it all.
it's like, oh, look, Helena's gonna have a litter.
it doesn't work that way.
She ate a litter.
I have no idea. I'm not of your species.
I'm mostly human-esque, except for the wings and the ability to hold my breath.
And eat for 5.
It's the wings, okay?
5?
Sirens have a very high metabolism.
Sure.
5? Are you trying to starve the poor girl?
I'd like to point out she's on like the second horde plate by now, probably like halfway through it.
You eat more than a minotaur. What does that tell you?
Vulcan will speak up. It's like the Minotaur needs to eat more.
I think I've grown up fine, thank you.
Yes, it all sounds very.
Vulcan's probably on the same like amount as Helena at this point, if not a little ahead of her.
Vulcan
This is
actually
all-
eats very little, but he puts away a ton of wine.
This is all very moving.
Mhm.
Oh, that was terrible.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's
You're
going to be
welcome.
such a grassroots movement.
I will struggle not to drown you in your sleep.
Yeah, you get that level of fiber. It's all good.
Oh, resist the urge.
So during the evening, you can tell like there's definitely been some tension between Vulcan and Pythor, but you can see now that like Pythor is sober. There's a it's not just like father and son. There's more of a friendship there. And especially when they start telling stories about the old times, there's a lot of like, do you remember that time when? It's like, oh yes, don't remind me of that time. That sort of thing. They do rope you guys
mounted the
into
barricades with a pitchfork.
they do kind of rope you guys into telling stories about the things that you've seen, the things that you've accomplished. Honora seems to be especially good at getting you to talk about yourselves.
Helena is very drunkenly telling as many stories as she can. Very well. She remembers a lot of detail for some strange reason.
But as the evening goes on, they start telling the stories become less about like the victories and more about losses or regrets or things of that nature. And Pythor, kind of, he looks at Sophie and it's like, I regret that your mother can't be here to see how much you've accomplished. And he looks at Honora and says like, and your mother as well. That damn dragon has taken too much from me.
Verdammt dragon.
When did you see her last? My mother, that is.
Oh, I don't think you were more than 3 or 4. It's when the
So like a calf.
If I kick you under the table, it's really, really going to hurt.
I'm just trying to.
He wears greaves. Go for it.
Don't tempt me. He wears greaves. That's not a good reason. It does still make it tempting, though.
no the times of my life when I have found someone that I wanted to spend my life with, this dragon has come. It's taken your mother, and he kind of nods to Sophia and Honora. Others over the years, the dragon seems to be personal.
I don't remember.
I'm going to end me a damn dragon.
But so a dragon came and took her away?
Yes. It's not the first time, sadly. Wasn't the last time, sadly. And who knows if I'm afraid that if I meet somebody again, the same thing will happen. The dragon has been alive as long as I have. And constantly.
Might be a convenient way to pull it in.
Possibly.
Not as a... That sounded horrible. But... it would certainly be a bit faster than us going and seeking them out. Although, seeking them out means hopefully finding them a bit closer to where they've put their captives. Unless they're not alive any longer.
Yeah, I do not know. But that's as you would say, and he looks at Sophie, he's like, my trials and tribulations in life are something I need to take better stock of.
Yes, I would say that sort of thing.
So we're not so terribly different.
I don't think it's something you would have said a week ago.
Oh, I may have, but it would have been accidental.
You wouldn't have meant it.
Very true. Well, the hour's late, and I understand that you have things to accomplish, so Honora and I will return to the palace.
Yes, we have an offering rock to check on.
Yes.
Good luck. And he gets up and he kind of nods to Vulcan. He's like, Vulcan? And him and Honora leave.
I wonder if it's the same goddamn dragon that I'm gonna have to friggin' slay. That thing's got it coming.
I think this is the first time I've heard you get mad at something. Normally you're like, the fates will provide, and now you're like, damn dragon.
That's because there's a reason I made a deal with the fates, and it's that damn fucking dragon.
Oh. That makes sense.
But let's get you into bed so that we can then be about our nightly chores.
It's kind of
That might be a good idea.
push Helena back in a mostly upright position again.
Mostly upright,
Mostly upright.
Crash position, crash position.
basically.
So
Sure, you're not Pytho's daughter.
No, she's definitely not. Look at that constitution.
No, I'm not.
So a couple of you can get Helena into her bed. Vulcan will kind of pull Sophia aside.
Oh, good, because I'll just run the remains of the tray up there as well, so she's got snacks in the morning.
Breakfast.
Yes. I need breakfast.
And the empty pitcher for the wine in case she's sick.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably more necessary.
Recovery position, go.
Yep.
Should I make a constitution roll, Chris?
Yes. Why don't you?
Okay. Oh, look, I don't throw up.
You don't throw up, but when you get up in the morning, you'll still have like the spins.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's nasty.
I would expect to be honest.
So Vulcan will pick Sophia aside. It's like he's not in. He's better, but he's not in any shape to face the dragon.
No, I wouldn't expect him to. Doesn't he have some sort of agreement where he can't?
No, the dragons are not part of the.
Oh, good.
Not that I'm aware of, at any rate. He's been chasing this dragon for 300 years, perhaps more.
Seems more like the dragon's been chasing him, but
A little bit of both. Whenever he settles down, whenever he's happy, this green dragon will ruin it for him. It has slaughtered villages. It has taken his wives. It has killed his children. It is... There's no doubt in my mind that it is personal. But he doesn't know how or why.
Does anyone know where it lives? Where it rests?
The last time he gave chase, he lost track of it in the seas. And that was before the great and powerful Sidon cut off the seas with storms and winds, making them unnavigable. I think if he finds this dragon, I think it'll kill him. I think if he doesn't find the dragon, that will kill him.
Well, it's a good thing his very stubborn daughter lived.
It's a good thing. Come, help me pack for a minute. Your friends will be a few minutes.
Oh, they'll be. Yes, she's going to need some help getting settled.
No,
And I'm
Helena,
confident
you're not
that
in your
I
right
can
mind, Helena. No, go to sleep, Helena.
Hey,
I'm fairly
I
certain I can
know
find the south gate on my own,
exactly what I'm talking about.
even if they do have trouble.
Maybe when you're sober, I'll take you up on that.
I'll let Deacon know that I'll meet him down at the south gate. Don't bother waiting for me.
Fair enough.
It's not like anyone's going to touch me in the city anyhow.
This is
True.
true.
So when you go across to the the smithy, you can see Theo's got a lot of the stuff already packed up. And Vulcan will kind of like he'll reach out. He doesn't ask. He just kind of reaches out and takes the hammer off your hip. It's like when I made this, I hoped that it would serve more purpose than smashing skulls. A hammer is a multi-purpose tool, better than a sword. And I imbued some of my essence into this. And as he's holding it, you can see it start to like glow in his hands. So it was my hopes that your father would take after me. Build rather than destroy. But that was not meant to be. But perhaps you'll find better use. And he'll hand the hammer back to you. And as he does, you can feel this knowledge kind of flow into you. And you worship Valis, the goddess of knowledge, so it's not uncommon for you to pick things up very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're like holding the hammer just for a split second, your mind is flooded with, smelting techniques and forging techniques and how to like fold the steel and temper the steel and what metal works best for what implements and like all of that knowledge, kind of like when Neo learns kung fu in the Matrix.
Right?
It's like this hammer will enable you to forge things faster than normal. Especially things that are imbued with a powerful essence. It was my hope that your father would create an item of import, an item that would be both a weapon and useful, something that would symbolize him. He never got around to that. But, well, perhaps you'll find opportunity.
More so now than I would have an hour ago.
I'm sure. Well, Theo and I need to finish packing, but I hope you and your friends can save your sister.
Thank you. For this. And she pats the hammer.
You're welcome. Right. And he'll go back to start ordering Theo to pack.
Sophia will stay and help for a few minutes.
And I'll be on my way down.
Okay. So yeah, the whole time that Sophia helps him, like the few minutes she helps him, he doesn't say anything else. He just kind of goes about his business, but it's very easy to fall into the rhythm of what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, I think that's enough for tonight. Theo can finish up in the morning.
It was pleasant spending time with you and him.
Well, hopefully there will be more of that in the future. Now, go. Your friends are waiting.
I'm sure Arathius, if he's even down there yet, is probably still climbing the rock. And Deacon won't really notice. I'm sure he'll either be asleep or faking it by the time I get there.
In the meantime, so Arathius has arrived down at the rock, and Deacon probably shortly thereafter. Why don't both of you give me perception checks? So as you just kind of do like a little preliminary look around, there is definitely the river is definitely fordable here. It's no more than like 6 or 7 inches deep on the south side of the rock. Definitely deeper on the other side of it. There is bloodstains on the rock, chains on the rock, kind of fixed in place like shackles. And Arathius, you notice a couple of things. You notice that the promontory that you were going to take your perch on, there seems to be a small nest of harpies there.
Actual harpies notice the difference.
Hey, look, Deacon, there's the harpy's nest up there.
Huh. Wonder how long that's been here.
And with a 20, you also notice around the rocks, broken pieces of statuary.
Oh, for the love. I'll fish out some of the statuary and marvel at how lifelike it seems.
Remarkably well carved. It's like
You put 2 and 2 together.
there's like,
Oh.
you pick up like the broken foot of a statue. You can see like the little kind of knuckle marks on the toes. You're pretty sure you can see like the little toe hairs. And sandal is like immaculately well done.
Oh, we've been through this before.
Hey, Deacon, does this remind you of when I was turned to stone?
It does seem a little familiar.
Yep, no, there's definitely a beast that comes for the sacrifice.
Very much so. I wonder what it is.
Somebody should maybe make a nature check on the harpies.
Maybe
The
ask.
centaur's in the stables.
Oh, is he?
Centaur stayed back.
But yeah,
we can have that discussion in the morning.
when Sophia gets here, we can at least mention to her, and she can try. I mean, after her last roll, I don't expect a ton of results, sadly.
Eventually,
Again, we can
I'll
always
have a
have
good
that
roll.
discussion in the morning.
Eventually, someday.
So yeah, as you guys do the little look around and kind of like find the statue and stuff, that would be time for Sophia to catch up, unless there's anything you guys wanted to do.
No, what do
No.
we know about harpies?
Make an Arcana check.
Oh. That I could possibly do. I know a lot about harpies, because we both like being in high places.
Yes. So,
Oh,
look
nice
at-
roll.
Nice.
Apparently, this is something I know about.
So yes, harpies are they're flesh-eating scavengers. They're like distant cousins of the sirens, perhaps afflicted by the same curse that cursed the sirens, but it took hold stronger.
So you're saying Sophia wasn't wrong?
Sophia was very wrong, okay? There's a big difference. And if you say that to Helena, especially when she's hungover, you might get decked.
So yeah, so they're definitely related at some point. Before like
It's still a curse from the gods.
it's still very much a curse from the gods. Beautiful singing voices, capable of like lulling people into a sense of security or like a calmness until the harpies eat their faces off. It is said that certain skillful musicians can counteract the effects of a harpy song.
Oh.
There are stories of that having happened. That's the main things. There's no records of harpies like turning people to stone with their music or anything of that nature.
No, this is probably like a
Like-
punch, I suspect.
Like a sea gorgon.
Oh, the other thing you guys would know with both a natural 20 and a total of 25 is the harpies are very directly the servants of Lutheria.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like if you think of Lutheria as the wicked witch of the west or the east, whichever one doesn't get a house dropped on her, the harpies are the equivalent of her flying monkeys. They are like her direct servants.
Harpy hunting, eh? Okay.
And it looks like the nest is you got a 20 on the perception. It looks like the nest is probably about a half dozen or so of them. They're kind of like nestled down for the evening, paying no attention to you guys at all.
So expect that whenever whatever rises shows up, that we'll also have to deal with them. Unless we deal with them first.
Sounds like a perfectly cleaning out opportunity.
It's about a half dozen of them up there.
Well, better we take them on and get rid of them and less
Yeah.
have to fight them later. God, I wonder how long they've been up there.
Well, they're sheltered from the main section of the walls. They're not exactly in a position to harass too many, obviously, or we would have heard of it.
Yeah, probably pick and carry in here and there when they have to.
Yeah.
Interesting, but clearly they are agents, so that's a thing we have to get rid of.
Get rid of what?
Oh, there's a nest of harpies up on the promontory cliff.
Oh,
Yeah, about a half dozen harpies up there.
Yeah, probably maybe on lookout, so that way when someone is strapped to the sacrificial section, that one of them maybe flies off and brings something else.
Oh, here, take a look at this foot. Does this foot remind you of something?
that's awfully lifelike. Like even in this lighting, that is awfully lifelike.
Yeah, we've definitely encountered this concept before.
Hmm.
So
Harpies
something.
don't turn things to stone, do they?
Nope.
No.
No, they have a song you have to watch out for, mind you. But I would, if I had to hazard a guess, I would say that what may be coming for whoever's on the rock doesn't necessarily have to be from the water. It could be just literally coming across the ford.
It could.
Well, we could always check that out in the morning.
Absolutely.
Unless we really want to go and look for it at night. But
No,
I
may
think
as
it
well
might
go
be
all
best
together.
to have Helena and I agree with this.
Probably. I would suggest we just maintain a vigil, and we then the first of the light of the morning, go in and clean that harpy nest out.
Hmm.
And then we can see what we can find on the other side of the ford in case there's a nearby cave.
Did you find a good way up to the top, or did you not get that far before you noticed the harpies?
I had a plan in mind to getting up there, which we may need to use tomorrow, but I'm not sure if Agri will be able to.
Why? What's the plan?
Well, there's a section of the wall in the gatehouse that digs directly into that rock, and then it's just a much shorter climb from the roof of that.
Oh, well, I suppose.
I'm not exactly sure how capable a centaur would be of getting on that roof, not having been inside to see if it's a ladder or a stairwell, or even none of the above.
More
I'm a
horse,
druid.
less goat.
I mean, he could always turn into a giant spider, and we could ride him up. So
Ugh.
Yeah,
There you go.
a spider with googly eyes, even.
Stop it.
oh, those
Spider.
8 great big googly eyes.
I'm going to make sure you sleep with your feet in the water.
Great. Well, at least I won't have to pee in the morning.
Well, this rock over here looks really nice.
Is Zarathius actually going over to that side of the river?
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
Dun-dun.
Nope, not as perceptive that time.
All right. Yeah, that rock looks completely comfortable.
Oh boy.
If something happens to me in the night, I love all of you.
We love you too, man.
I'm sorry, I was too drunk to save you.
Someone had to take care of the
In
drunk
the
girl.
end, I did it to myself. And that's
You guys
truly
kept
the best
feeding
way
me
to go.
liquor.
All right. So are you guys like keeping a vigil or are you sleeping?
Oh, keeping a vigil, but obviously we're going to sleep on rotation.
Yeah, we'll sleep in shifts.
Yeah, normal protocol for being away from a place like an inn.
Okay. Let me see. Who's taking first, second, and third watch then?
Well, I'll take third. That way I can.
Yeah, because
That
third's
way I can-
usually into the false dawn and dawn, so you could actually see then, whereas the two
Yeah.
of us could see during the night.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep.
Alrighty. So sometime after midnight on the second shift, who is taking second?
I'll
Honestly,
take second.
I was going to say, honestly, that normally seems like a Rathius' shift, but sure, you can go ahead.
So as you're kind of standing there, Sophia, you can smell something across the river. Smells like
Victory?
No, it does not smell like victory.
Burning.
It smells like
Forks?
XP.
Doesn't smell like it smells
Gasoline?
what exactly? It smells like meat, I guess. You can identify it as like an animal scent, but it's very
Like-
faint.
Cooking meat or raw meat?
like raw meat. Like you can smell that there's an animal in the on the other side of the river.
Something has bled. Okay. I have dark vision. At least limited dark vision.
Yeah,
Let me see here.
It's like 60 feet. You can see like part way across the river.
Do I see anything strange?
Yeah, actually, you can't even see the other side of like the other bank.
Okay. Well, I'll start carefully picking my way across.
It'll turn out that the Erathius rock is not really a rock.
I'm riding on its back, yo.
Make a stealth roll.
I imagine there'll be some benefit to the running water.
White Minotaur. I greatly doubt I'm going to be stealthy.
It's more a sound one.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Although you're still usually stealthier than I am, so.
Glow in the dark.
I could make that happen.
No, I'm glowy enough, especially in bright moonlight.
So as you kind of make your way, kind of like following the scent, you see what looks like a small statue of a deer. It's like in the middle of the middle of the field. You can definitely smell blood, definitely smell deer blood. But you also see about a half dozen, like 4.5 foot lizardy creatures that are like closing in on the statue.
I doubt that's a statue. No one puts a statue here out in the middle of nowhere. Lizardy creatures, huh?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know what troglodytes look like.
Yeah, but you don't know what a basilisk looks like.
No, but I really understand with like, the idea of the troglodytes because I know what their shit smells like. So hey,
Intimately.
it's still somewhere in the fibers of the cloth and the armor. It's horrible.
And Sophia, as you watch these like large lizards, and they have 6 legs. So they're not quadrupeds, but they kind of close in on this deer statue, and then like one of them kind of like lunges up very quickly and like latches its jaws around like part of the leg and just like bites it off like through the solid stone. It's like crunch, 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 crunch.
Mm-hmm.
At which point they kind of like the statue kind of falls over, and they eat the statue, or most of it.
Dear.
Okay. That explains quite a bit.
Well, at least they won't be hungry.
I'm going to make my way over toward where Erathius is sleeping.
Okay.
Where did Deacon go to sleep?
I'm on the east side of the river with you, I'd thought.
Okay.
I imagine probably somewhere around there.
All right. So yeah, I'm going to make my way up toward where Erathius went.
Okay. Give me
just to make sure that he's still okay.
Okay. One more stealth roll then, as you kind of move away from these creatures.
Oh, greatly doubt. Yeah, I have not. My dice are not happy that I haven't rolled them in a while, apparently. Even though they're just, electronic.
In a favorite quote from a lovely movie, "You move like a pregnant yak."
Hey now. You're a
All
yak
Remo
star.
William fans out there, come on now.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Yeah, I still want a Blu-ray copy of it.
Such a great film. So as you start to move away, you like you hear like the kind of like the squishing sound because you're like on the grass near the river, so it's a little bit wet. And one of the lizards kind of like looks up. And it's weird. Its eyes almost reflect the moonlight, but there's something else there. There's something else in the eyes. But thankfully, you're a fair distance away from it. And then it goes back to chewing on rock.
There we go. Found my token.
You can make your way over to where Arathius is.
Yeah. You're less interesting than the meal.
Yep, that's okay. It's because I'm obviously furry, not stony.
So far.
So far. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait there for a while until it's. Oh, Rathius took first watch, didn't he?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
I'll just wait over here then until my watch is done. Just to make sure that they aren't either trying to creep up on Arathius or creep across the river.
No, you can kind of keep your eye on them, and you do see at one point they like you hear this absolutely horrible sound. It gets cut off very shortly, very quickly. Like, did you know that it's possible for rabbits to scream?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very
It
disturbing
actually.
sounding. It's that, and then cut off very quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
So hunting continues.
So, but it all does sound like it's kind of down to the southwest area. It doesn't seem to be coming any closer to where you guys are.
Okay.
Well, this is lovely.
And now I'm having flashbacks of Watership Down. Thanks, guys.
No worries.
So when it's time for, they're not getting closer, right? They seem to be going up the path the other way.
Yeah, they seem to be kind of staying in that southwestern area. That's probably like their hunting territory.
Okay. Once it's Deacon's turn for watch,
I'm assuming the map just turned to night.
Yeah, it's 1 in the morning.
Good. All right. My computer monitor is still good.
yeah, it's not your monitor, it's just the moon.
Some days I wonder.
That's no moon.
That's no moon.
But more like mood lighting.
But yeah, once it's almost time for Deacon's watch, she'll go back across the river so that she can let him know what he saw, or what she saw, in case he wants to come over onto the east side, maybe up on the other set of stones.
Interesting. So they seem to be nocturnal.
Seems to be.
Yeah.
They seem to also prefer their food to crunch.
Yeah, they seem, well, that seems to be our thing, so they must. That's why the overnight is much for the sacrifice, because they know they're going to come out at night, and they are going to come and, well, turn the victim to stone and then eat it. Hey, Chris, historically, is there an anagram for this album, like Almal, that I know of?
You've probably heard of
We
basilisks. They're
just got a campfire.
I figured Deacon would probably light a torch so he could see.
Funny.
So yeah, you would have heard, like, soldiers would tell stories about basilisks. You've heard of these creatures that can turn a man to stone with their gaze.
Now, here's the question. Is it permanent or is it temporary, like the cockatrice?
In all the stories that you've heard, it's permanent. Whether that's true or not, you're not sure, but the stories you've heard, it's permanent.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Not many clerics reach a level where they can cast Greater Restoration.
But the rest of the night, like, you kind of keep your eye out for these creatures just in case. Nothing else kind of draws your attention during the evening.
All right, then. Time to clean out the harpies. As soon as we find the others.
So yeah, the others are probably still at the tavern.
Yep.
yeah. If Helena's awake, she's probably drinking water, which is the first time you've ever seen her drink water, and munching on crackers and salted meats to try to keep her hangover at bay.
I'm pretty sure we probably would have told Agrius kind of where we're going. So if they wanted to hook up with us in the morning, they can.
I agree. Would actually go ahead and pass her a berry and say, "Eat this, and you'll feel perfectly fine."
I eat the berry.
Congratulations, good berry. You don't need to eat for the rest of the day.
Need
Yeah.
doesn't mean she won't.
Yeah, she will anyway.
Oh yeah.
I will anyway, but now I'm not going to throw it back up again.
Yeah, even actually, why doesn't Helena give me a Constitution? It's called a Constitution check, not a saving throw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
You're holding it together fairly well. You could definitely use with a nap and a lot less bright light. But
That sounds like me in the morning anyway.
but yes, between the good berry and the water, you're definitely. I mean, you're hung over, but the world has stopped spinning.
Yes.
It is flat after all.
Considering I know what that feels like, and not from a hangover, yeah.
Just remember, when you're in bed, you always have to put your foot on the floor. It stops the world from spinning.
Uh-huh.
No, it doesn't. Not when you have a medical condition.
Oh.
Oh, I was just referring to being drunk.
The foot no longer serves as a planet anchor.
No. I have a issue with the nerves in my inner ear, and I get really nasty vertigo that I have to take medication for.
Oh, that's not nice.
Yeah, so I know what that feeling feels like, and it is not fun.
Yeah, I get a point where, like, I get my sinuses so badly clogged up that it causes the vertigo aspect too. Ugh, nasty.
Yeah, it's just gross.
So yeah, we'll make our way down to the party.
All right.
Ba-ba-ba.
So
Why
yes,
is it so bright?
Because it's
It's the morning after. You're hungover.
Listen, Mr. Sarcasm, that wasn't an opinion, okay?
well,
Can't wait till I can turn into an elephant and blow in your ear.
well, hopefully.
Lead you down to the dock
Sure,
so I don't have to walk?
hop on. And Chris, I'm going to flavor text mountable all the way down, if that's possible.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I'm small. So you guys see Egri and Helena coming down, and Helena's like riding on Egri's back, and she looks like she's half asleep.
Well, that's a bad sign.
She's still drunk, but she's here.
I'm not still drunk. I'm hungover, very badly hungover.
So
And
that
it's
Excellent.
doesn't.
So
spinning.
you'll be
That's
You'll be in-
terrible.
it's great. You'll be in great shape to take on your brethren, the harpies.
Distant cousins.
I am not a harpy.
Distant cousins. They're both afflicted with curse.
Yeah, well, Sidon's an asshole. What can I say?
But yeah, there's about a half dozen harpies up there that might be partially involved in the whole sacrifice thing.
You could take your
Oh,
vengeance
lovely.
on them.
Yeah,
I
don't think
will. The
protection
bitches always
will-
think they can outsing us.
Clearly.
Yep, this will be interesting.
It's gonna make for a fun time. Let's go get her done.
Battle.
Right. So yeah, so you guys can kind of like track down the harpies. Like the harpies have left their nest. They're kind of going out scavenging for food. But they're pretty easy to follow. Like you can hear the screeching kind of like back and forth.
God,
Uh,
they're so loud.
they're very loud.
How far up are they?
They're probably only like 60-ish feet above the ground because they're kind of keeping their eyes open for prey. And I imagine you guys are kind of like keeping to the trees and stuff so they don't easily spot you unless you want to make yourself obvious.
I suspect if they figure that we're going to invade their nest, that they probably will come attack us.
I was thinking if someone would like to go out into the path and look pathetic and sad this morning to be bait.
Well, we have one of those.
All right. I'll go out into the path.
I think she was talking about me, but I'm glad that you're willing to volunteer.
I go out into the path and start singing loudly.
Bemoan your fate.
Exactly.
Yeah, little vomiting wouldn't hurt either, just saying.
I will make a performance check.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, you are sick beyond sick. So deaf and dying.
And yet perfectly on key.
Exactly. A bard should always be on key.
Might I say, that was awesome.
If you can't pull off a great performance while hungover, are you even a bard?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Depends
that's
what your
kind of the
performing art
test.
is.
So Helena makes her way out into the path, and I'll just reuse the map from earlier because I didn't have a harpy nest map made for, who thinks that their party's going to go raid a harpy nest,
It's a DM that mentions there's harpies.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
put a
you
monster
think.
in front of us, we're gonna go murder it.
I've literally had the harpies and the basilisks ready for like 3 months. I just didn't have a map ready.
Well, we just got here. We don't do things in order.
Well,
That would be
he had them ready on the in case they go the other way and check out what's around the rocks and stuff following the satyr.
Yeah.
I'm
But
getting in, not roll here. Just one sec.
Did you unknown combatant by accident?
I don't know where I get.
No, literally, my character sheet won't roll the initiative for me.
Right.
There it is, late.
That's because I rolled.
Okay.
Unknown commandos. All right. So Helena starts singing, and it's really like gorgeous singing. Absolutely amazing performance. And the harpies kind of turn and they look and they start to cackle. They start to like screech back and forth to one another. And then one of them starts singing like a counter melody almost. And I'm gonna need everybody to give me wisdom saving throws.
Oh God, it's become American Idol.
Yes! Apparently my melody is saving me.
Ooh, not so much me.
Likewise.
You guys just need to listen harder.
All right, so Deacon and Agri, you are charmed by the harpy. So you're incapacitated, which means you can't take actions or reactions. You ignore the songs of other harpies, and if you're more than 5 feet away from the harpy, you must move towards it by the most direct route.
Ick.
And whenever you take damage from a source other than the harpy, you can repeat the saving throw.
Oh, lovely.
And you also get to repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns.
Oh, better. Thank you.
So that was on. And because that would be fairly obvious, this is the one that is currently singing.
We don't see any harpies. You may now activate the map for us.
Yeah, we still see the city. There we go.
Basically, what you're saying is Deacon just sits there with the goat horns up, banging his head. Okay, good.
Yeah. So that is the one that is singing. Arathius is up.
Well, if that's the one singing.
Heal it.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. It's like, oh, that's 65 feet. That's well within Eldritch Blast range.
Excellent. Ooh, yeah.
So the blast like rocks out and hits the harpy pretty solidly. It screeches.
And I move forward.
Does it interrupt its singing?
It does not.
Dang.
One of the harpies is going to swoop down at Arathius. So that one kind of swoops down all like claws and clubs, but does not seem to be a particularly competent combatant. Helena.
You're nothing but a jealous bitch. Vicious mockery.
Which one?
The one that just attacked Arathius. Yeah, Arathius.
Okay. Right.
I don't blame her. Lutheria blessed me with being amazing.
Deacon. This song is just so beautiful. You're like slack-jawed, hands at your side, just like walking towards that harpy. But at the end of your turn, you get to make the wisdom save again.
Okay.
You kind of shake your head, and you can still hear the song, but it doesn't seem to have that same hold on you.
Dirty bird.
Sophia.
Yeah. Sophia is going to try to shoot this one with her crossbow. We'll see how well that goes. Wow. My dice really do resent the fact that I haven't rolled them in a while.
It goes about as well as you would expect.
Yeah, not at all. But as my bonus action, I would like to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay.
And it's going to be above this one. So it can go just crashing down.
I don't have a spiritual weapon token made yet, but
That's okay.
right. So I'm trying to think the best way to do an attack with spiritual weapon. It would be make a wisdom check.
That's the mod side.
Yep. Plus, yeah, that is a hit. So do a D8 plus 3. So slash R space. Yep, there you go.
A 1.
So
My
4 damage.
Dice really resent not being rolled for a while. Holy cow.
You at least get to play Fallout with me.
What?
So two of them, they seem to focus on Agri, and they kind of hiss, like not at each other in a communication way, but hiss at him like they're angry to see him.
Yay!
Agri, are they X's?
Well,
Maybe they have a thing for centaurs.
Maybe they think he's part of the centaurs to the north.
And yeah, they just kind of swoop in. They're kind of flying like about 10 feet above him and Sophia, but they're completely ignoring everybody else. They're like hissing at him and like spitting on him. Agri has to move towards the one that is singing. And then can make the wisdom check at the end of the turn.
So that's the mod, not the save. Correct?
Sorry, it's a save. It's a wisdom save.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. You kind of shrug it off as you see all these harpies kind of like swirling around you, definitely focused on you. But they don't seem to be attacking. They seem to be like hissing, and they were spitting on you, and you're like, what the? And that song, and you're just like, and you kind of clamp down, and you're like, oh no, it's early morning, and I've already had enough.
Too many sirens.
Too many.
Hey! They are harpies. I am a siren. There is a difference.
Not enough siren.
Okay. The one that was singing, even though it was like shot at and hit with an eldritch blast and everything else, again, just like flies over to Agri, doesn't swoop down to attack him, but just kind of cackles and like, kind of spits at him and laughs. And seems to be doing like this kind of bird song screeching back to its nest mates. Definitely some sort of communication going on back and forth between them. But again, doesn't swoop in for the attack, even though it was well within reach. Arathias.
Interesting.
Well, I guess I'll go to shoot the leader again, but with disadvantage because I have melee with me here. Yeah.
Just barely miss as you're like getting ready to shoot this one with its club, like kind of knocks your arm aside.
Hey, I'm using that.
And it mimics you back. It's like, I'm using that in this very kind of mocking way.
God, you're pathetic.
Does a 15 hit your new armor class?
Yeah, it does.
Right.
Which means I get to use a spell.
Yep. So that's 4 points.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Then it's a Dex save for Hellish Rebuke?
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna make it, but half of 17 is still a good amount.
Yeah, so the flames like burst back on the harpy and it like screeches, kind of flutters its wings a bit. Definitely felt that. Helena.
So I mimic its own voice back to it using the actor feed I just picked up. And then I use that to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Okay, which one?
The one that has been attacking Arathius. What do you mean I have no available first level spell slots? I have all my first level spell slots.
You didn't click long rest.
Oh. That's why. Okay, now do the thing. Thank you.
Okay. It fails. So yeah, so the as Helena does like this perfect imitation of the harpy voice, the harpy that was fighting Arathis like looks over it and lets out this like horrible sounding laughter. Just like you're not sure if you want Helena casting the spell listening to his laughter, and it just like literally like kind of falls on his back, like legs kicking in the air laughing.
That's awesome.
Deacon is up.
All right, so the one that's in front of me, is it spear stabbable?
The one that's on the ground by, yes, it is. It's like laying there on the ground laughing hysterically.
Oh, good. I'll put a spear through it.
Okay. And you do have advantage because it's prone.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's like laughing and laughing, and I have to look at the spell. Does attacking it break it, or it just gets to make another save, I believe?
And each time it takes damage, you can make another wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
It has advantage if it's triggered by damage.
All right. So yeah, it stops laughing after it gets stabbed.
Aww. That's disappointing.
That was a really good stab, though.
It really was.
It was.
All right. That will take us to Sophia.
I'm feeling a tad surrounded over here.
It's Agri's fault.
I'm going to take a swing at this one.
So those ones are all like 10 feet in the air, but since you're like 7 feet tall.
Okay. All right then.
Break its ankle.
Yeah, I know he said he had other hopes for the hammer, but I'm gonna try to hit with the hammer.
It's like jump for the slam dunk.
Hey! Finally!
The hammer likes you today.
Finally,
roll.
Sophia has come back to dealing damage.
Clearly, that's what the hammer wants you to do.
Evidently. And
Yeah.
my spiritual weapon is going to smack that one, since it's still over there.
Oh, that's it.
Maybe I'll be able to roll more than a
single point of damage.
single point. So it's that plus my
Your wisdom modifier.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's at least doing 7.
So yeah, so this the actual real solid Pythor's hammer smacks into one over here, and then the spiritual one in like an echo smacks into the one beside it.
A true BOGO.
There you go.
Finally.
That one is gonna fly over to Agri. And that one is going to basically, you know how sometimes like when a pigeon flies by and decorates a statue?
Oh,
Oh,
Thanks, Chris.
Like there's no doubt at all in your mind that these things are trying deliberately to humiliate Agri.
Hey, at least it was
Yay!
a griffin.
Those poor things, they're too late. Hagrid already has us for friends.
Thanks, Rathius.
That's awful.
Just saying, at least it wasn't a griffin.
But this one over here
True.
by Sophia is going to attack with its claws and its club.
As far as crits go, there's far worse fates.
So yeah, it does get a critical hit on Sophia for 3 points of damage.
Wow.
Its critical
Three.
hit was hitting you with a kitten.
It rolled ones on both of the d4s, and then it gets a +1.
Sucks to be it.
It can't get through the her hide, her natural armor.
Can't get any farther down than my horns.
Yeah.
So the two that are over there by you, Sophia, have landed and are trying to club you and claw you. The ones that are over by Arathius seem not Arathius, over by Agri seem far more interested in humiliating him than actually attacking him. Agri, you're up.
All right. Well, these guys are still 10 feet above, and unfortunately, I don't have that type of reach. So, you basically see Agri put his hands out, and this flying beast appears adjacent to these flying harpies.
Also, you can probably throw fire, too.
Yeah.
I know, you want to use Summon Beast.
Yeah.
Make him work for it. Find that beast. Find that beast.
Thanks, Chris.
Do you have the stats for the beast there?
Yeah, I do. So multi-attack, and if it's fly, it's beast doesn't attack provoke opportunities whenever it flies out of an enemy's reach. Multi-attack, half to the spell's levels rounded down. Okay, so it only gets one attack. And spell attack modifier to hit. Hit is 1d8 plus 4 plus spell's level, piercing.
Oh, nice.
Spell attack modifier.
So basically, it's going to be like a sparrow that has like Helena's appetite.
Shh. Nothing has my appetite.
So you just said sparrow twice.
Excuse you?
Oh,
You've ever seen a sparrow eat? Oh my god.
19 is definitely a hit.
Alright, and just rolling for damage. Spells level. Sorry, there's your damage.
Nice. So yeah, so Agri kind of puts out his hands, and you guys see this vaguely translucent. You don't know what type of bird. Just like if you were to think bird, it's the one that would pop into your head, like the kind of the primordial ideal of bird, just materializes and just rakes these claws through the harpy and opens it up, and blood just drops out of it. It is badly hurt. Arathius. The one right
Badly hurt, you say?
Yep. The one still beside you is still prone, so technically doesn't threaten the square you're in.
Ah, good. I'll hit the leader again then.
Okay.
Oof, not that matters.
No.
Welcome back to those rolls.
10 is still a miss.
Go ahead. Provoke, Deacon. Do it.
Yeah. This one will stagger to its feet, and then it will try to attack Deacon since he's right there. So it reaches out with its claws, but they just bounce off your armor, but then it like brings that club around, and you take a whopping 2 points of damage.
Ow.
Deacon, are you still with us, buddy?
My ears are ringing. Hopefully I can't hear them anymore.
And that'll bring us to Helena.
Sweet. Who is it they've been trying to humiliate? Agri?
Yep.
So, in Agri's voice, I will again mock them and try Tasha's hideous laughter on the ones attacking him.
Okay.
Or
You know-
one of the ones attacking him.
The wounded one or the not wounded one?
Let's go for the wounded one. Ah, bitch.
Okay. They seem very focused on Agri.
You should have tried the other one.
Apparently.
That will take us to Deacon.
Okie dokie. Will spear stab the one in front of me.
Okay. Oh, that one is not long for this world.
I like that.
Okay. That one is definitely dead.
I like that. That's good.
Would you like to move or anything, or?
That's a good question. I think I will move over here to help out. I think I'm going to move over to help out Sophia and Helena.
Okay. Sophia, you are up.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a swing at that one. And my spiritual weapon is still on the other.
Yeah, you can move your spiritual weapon.
That's fine. No, she'll just keep smacking.
Well, that one is dead. Deacon just speared
Oh.
it.
Okay. Spiritual weapon then will come up and smack that one. But let's see if I can hit first.
Ooh.
Oh,
That is a hit.
yay! I'm hitting things. How's my spiritual weapon doing? Not so much.
Spiritual weapon misses.
It's
Apparently
swinging in
Pytho's
spirit.
hammer just like
It's swinging in spirit.
Now that Agri has proven to be aggressive towards them, this one is going to like drop down and kind of rake its claws against them.
So it did think they were allies. Huh.
A 13.
Not high enough.
So yeah, it kind of lands clumsily, like its claws kind of like draping down over your armor. This one is going to attack Sophia for 5 damage.
Now I'd replace the kitten with an actual club.
And this one is going to attack Helena
Ow.
for a total of 10.
That hurts.
That one really doesn't like harpy or sirens.
Doesn't like harpies either. It's a self-hatred.
That could be.
Well,
Agri-
that bitch is getting it next.
All right, so just gonna quickly do this. So I'll do pets first, Chris, if that's cool with you.
Yep, that's fine. Definitely a hit.
There's your damage. Hey, that's 2 12s in a row.
This little spirit beast is earning its keep.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, its claws dig in and like rip open, and trails start to drop out. The harpy is like having a hard time staying in the air, and you don't think it's going to be alive for very much longer.
And that's to the one that's from me.
Perfect. All right, so yeah, you cut into that one. It like screeches at you. And you can see it's got like this look of hatred in its eyes, and not just hatred because you attacked it or hatred because you're food. Like just absolute hatred.
I say back in Abyssal, come at me.
It actually screeches back in Abyssal's like, Mistress says not to kill you yet, but Mistress is wrong.
What the hell? What is this conversation going on behind me?
Oh dear.
Sophia looks
nothing,
confused.
nothing major.
Nothing to see here, move along.
So yeah, you guys did hear like Agri like say something to them in that same sort of screeching, hissing language.
I do think there are a couple that speak Abyssal here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought Sophia
Hence why
speaks
Sophia
Abyssal.
is so confused. Because Sophia does speak Abyssal.
Then Sophia,
I'm not wasting the spell on it.
Sophia understood that.
Yes, that's why she looks confused.
You shouldn't be confused. We'll explain it all later, though.
The badly wounded harpy is going to attack the spirit beast.
Okay, 13 is the AC.
All right, so my pair of 11s will do nothing. Okay, Arathius.
Third time's a charm. Yay! How dare you attack the spirit beast?
Nice.
Right, that one is definitely deceased. Helena is up.
I'm gonna shoot that one point blank.
And I do have a dagger out for Agri's sake.
Okay,
That
perfect.
one.
Okay. So yeah.
And I do nothing.
No.
Unless I was gonna say I don't think I have flanking of any kind.
No.
Well, that sucks.
Deacon is up.
How injured is the one in front of me?
Not very. The 3 that are left have been like nickeled and dimed, but
All right, so with this one, I'll use my 2 attacks.
okay.
Double spears of awesomeness. Or not so much.
That other one, though.
Yeah, that was some awesome.
So yeah, so it dodges out of the way the first one, but then you bring the kind of the butt of the spear around, kind of grab its attention, and then spear it through the wing. It's looking pretty hurt.
I'll take pretty hurt.
Sophia.
I'm going to repeat my action.
Okay.
Try to smack that one. And that one. One physically, one spiritually. An 11? Probably not.
An 11 is a hit on a harpy.
Oh, okay. A big ol' 3.
It's gonna learn
Only
today.
a 5.
That will
The
bring
lesson's going slow enough. I think anyone could learn at this rate.
Shame that your attacks seem to be like my initiative.
Oh, horrible, horrible.
All right. This one is going to attack Agri. Oh, for 3.
Club hits.
Club's got all the hits.
This one is going to attack Sophia. Sophia has taken like 2 criticals. You're good on the
Yep, the
Constitution
last
save.
one was really tiny.
This one's only 6.
Okay.
But Helena does get to add like 2 more verses to her poem because of it. So.
All of the poems.
Should
Hey,
be able
that
to
puts
add
me up
more
to
verses
10.
if we get bardic inspiration and failed our check.
Do you know what I miss? I miss our NPC that gave us extra rerolls.
That was nice too.
Oh,
Sorry,
She,
I don't have that spell.
She had an argument with her brother. I mean, with the god Pythor, because she's just a normal person, and that was kind of the last time she adventured with us.
yep, she's probably still at the palace.
Probably.
Probably doing stuff. Who knows?
Making sure he stays sober.
There might be a reason why he's sober. That will be a 22 to hit Helena for 9 damage.
Helena,
Ow!
no.
And that's okay. You can take the hit right on the gut. It'll be good.
Yeah, suddenly you're like, ooh, I'm glad I only had a good berry for breakfast. That will bring us.
Almost feel like I would have liked to throw up on them.
Yeah. That will bring us to Agri.
bird form moves up closer to the one that's in melee,
Okay.
and that's a broadside of a miss.
Yep, 10 just misses.
And
You do have advantage on this one because Arathius is flanking you.
yeah, 13 is 13 is still a 13.
Still a hit.
Wow.
I am helping.
That was so meant to be.
Arathius, you're up.
Yeah, do I? Yep.
12 is a
Still
hit.
Give it a little jab in the back. Just a reminder I'm here.
Helena.
Tested, tried and true, vicious mockery at the one in front of me. Just die, you worthless sack of skin. Hey, look, it failed.
That one does seem to get through its exterior.
It starts crying and cackling and
So
abyssal.
it's shrieking, taking in a deep breath to perhaps let loose a song next turn. Deacon.
Oh yeah.
Right, so,
Sing with a hole in your lung.
yeah, so as it kind of opens its mouth to start singing, Deacon just like spears it through the cheek, kind of causing it to lose its train of thought.
We'll have none of that.
That'll take us to Sophia.
Oh,
Smite.
smite! I can try. It hasn't been going very well so far, but swinging with
You could
Granddad's
just
hammer.
bonk it. Yeah, just bonk it with Granddad's hammer.
I was gonna say just headbutt it.
Bonk it
That
with
works,
Granddad's
too.
hammer. Bonk.
It's tempting. It's really getting tempting.
Vulcan's hammer is his
It's-
forehead.
Really, really getting tempting.
Harpy just kind of skitters out of the way and laughs at you.
Yeah, I don't blame it at this point.
Hit with a spirit.
I'll try to smack it though in the back of the head with a spiritual weapon.
Hey!
Hey!
That'll
Oh.
hit.
There we go.
Apparently, you just can't focus on them both at the same time.
Apparently, I'm having some focusing issues. Wow.
Well, 4 damage.
Wow.
Ow!
Second time I've rolled a 1
That sucks.
on that damage.
That one's going to. It's going to claw Agri for 6 points.
Agri, no. Agri, no.
And bye bye birdie.
He earned his keep, though. He did really well for his first time out.
He did.
Good use of spell.
That one is going to attack Sophia.
Sophia, no.
For 7 and 2.
Wow. All right.
And the last one is going to attack Helena. Nope.
Not so much.
It's distracted by getting poked with a spear.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a bit.
All right. Agri is up.
Well, since I don't need to keep concentration anymore, toggling on rage on my bonus action, and then swinging with scimitar.
Good job.
Good
You
advantage.
picked off the centaur.
You're working up to it.
It's a slow burn.
Because of the fact that it's got poked in the back and it's kind of like not paying attention, it turns around and looks at Arathius. You manage to bring that scimitar around its back and cut it pretty deep.
Advantage is good.
Arathius.
I saw that one really, really hit Sophia, so I'll try and slap with Eldritch Blast while maintaining the fight over here.
Okay.
Well, 12 still hits.
That's a hit.
Take 9, you stupid, evil harpy. You'll go back to the lady soon enough.
There we go. All right. That will bring us to Helena.
Again, so as my bonus action, I'm gonna give Deacon Bardic Inspiration die.
Okay.
Deacon, when you use it, if you get less than 2, you automatically get 2
Okay.
for my epic poem.
Yeah, it's a D4, yes?
Yes.
D6.
No, it's a D6.
Ooh, even better.
And then I will Vicious Mockery the harpy in front of me. For 1 damage. Thought I told you to die, damn it.
It cries because it's trying.
At least you heard it.
But your psychic damage is so weak, you can't.
Damage is still damage.
I'm trying, but you're not hurting me fast enough.
All right. Deacon is up.
And again, spear stabbing.
Way, hey, and away she goes.
And then a D6.
You don't have to use the D6 that hits.
Oh, all right, fair.
So you stab through that one as it's like looking at Helena and
Crying.
it's starting to like kind of tear up. And then you like spear it through the shoulder, pin it to the ground, yank the spear out.
Excellent.
Sophia.
Yeah, Sophia's getting tired of this not hitting Jack. She's going to cast Guiding Bolt.
Well, at least there's only one to hit.
Yeah.
Just so you know, you'll be at disadvantage with Guiding Bolt.
On that one.
Yep, because you're in melee with it.
So you've hit every round at least once of your 2 attacks.
Hey, Chris,
Yes.
the one in front of me dropped, right?
Yes, it did.
All right, so I would actually probably move right there.
Okay.
Is this one over by Agri still alive?
Yep.
Okay. All right. How is Agri? Oh, Agri looks fine.
Yeah, he's barely scratched.
Yeah, I'm
It
screwed.
is just a horse wound.
So yes, I'm going to try to cast it. And you said I was what, at disadvantage?
Yes.
Okay.
Or you could just smite the one you love.
7.
That is a miss.
And the spiritual weapon will try to smack it from behind. No.
That is also a miss. So yeah, so you're like,
Wow.
You can bring up your hand to do the guiding bolt, and it just kind of knocks your hand aside with its club.
I apparently either need to take first or last watch. Taking this middle watch and splitting my sleep did not do me any favors.
To be honest, though, this is the first round you missed on both attacks.
So that's going to bring its club down on Agri for a whopping point of damage.
Okay.
And this one, it's going to try to eat Sophia. For another 7 damage.
Ouch.
It's like starting to get into the meaty bits now.
Yeah.
Chop. That will bring us to Agri.
It slices, it dices, it julienne.
So yeah, you bring that scimitar down again, and you're carving deep into the flesh now. You're pretty sure this thing's incapable of flight at this moment. One of its wings is like hanging very limply. The other one has like had most of its feathers sheared off. Marathias.
Well, I'll try and help out over there again with another disadvantageous blast.
Okay.
Oh, not that time, unfortunately.
No.
Darn 8.
Helena.
Tried and true. Can't you just die like your sisters already have? Another one starts to cry.
Yeah. Nothing quite gets to the harpies, just like those jabs from family members. Deacon.
Well, I will stab the one in front of me. Do we hit, or should I use the 1d4?
An 11 is a hit on a harpy.
Then I will.
That one drops.
Sweet! Hey, Helena, this is getting a pattern. You make them cry and I kill them.
Exactly, see? It's because they're so offended by my insults that they're not paying attention to your spear.
Exactly.
It's great.
I'm going to try again. Sophia shakes her hands out and then tries again to cast Guiding Bolt on the one that's over by Agri.
At least there's no folks involved here now.
Wow, 11.
That is
I
a
don't
hit.
think so.
It's
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, so Sophia kind of shakes her hands and kind of holds them out and fires off this blinding beam that hits that harpy and just like vaporizes it.
Poof.
Apparently,
Sorry
you
that
just
took
had to
so
do a little
long.
bit of build up.
My hands didn't feel like they were cramped, but maybe they were.
Well, it's the bonus of focusing on one target.
Yeah.
So where's that sour? I just need to do quick math. All right. So as the lust of the harpies drops, you kind of go, okay, that wasn't too bad. One less thing that we'll have to deal with during Anora's sacrifice. May or may not have some questions as to why the harpies were behaving the way they were doing with Agri, or Sophia may be curious as to why they said Mistress said not to kill him yet. But we'll find that out next game, since we ran way late.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Meow, meow, meow.
Well, it's only fair because your game ran late. Yeah.
That's right.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Yeah, we'll see
Have a good night,
everybody
folks.
in
Thanks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yay!
2 weeks.
I'll see you next week for Conan.
Yes, Conan right around the corner.
I know.
I don't live in an age undreamed of.
Have a good night, everyone.
Night, guys.
Ciao.